You flew in with a camera and a dream, another white savior with the YouTube scheme. Found a sweet girl, half your age, so sweet. Now she's your content, our love so cheap. You say it's real, but we all see the game. Poverty porn with the romantic frame. She's your backdrop,
Alright,
your
so
exotic
down
prize.
to
All you
getting
count
the
the
rain.
clicks from
Are
your
you looking at your
paradise.
phone, or are you going to try to look it over here?
I'll be
Are
that
you running
guy
behind?
with the
I'm trying
vlog
to,
and a lie, telling a
if
story
I don't
while
do
you're
this,
living the high. You say it's true love, but the comments all know you're just another old man with a show. Don't be that guy. You built a channel off her yes and dear, but the second she speaks, you cut her clear. She's so shy, folks know she's just aware that her life's your script. Do you even care? You say she's happy, but we see the strain. Another brown face in your cash grab frame. Her family's struggling, but your Patreon's high. Tell me, hero, who's really saving lives? Oh, don't be that guy with a vlog and a lie, selling a story while you're living the high. You say it's true love, but the comments all know you're just another old man.
Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? Magandang umaga, masarapang araw kung mayroong punta.
Good morning. Yeah, see, I tug on one side and I'm trying to spring me a curl over here, and that's, oh, good morning. Bad hair day. There we go. Anyways, good morning, everybody. Saturday morning here in the Philippines. We have George awake, looking good and poggy. That might be behind.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm trying to. What it is, it's the StreamYard. It shows you all the messages. This software only shows you part of it, so I have to look over here to read all the messages. It's just kind of odd. That's all.
Where's your coffee? Oh,
Yeah.
you
Ted,
need your coffee.
Yeah. Good morning, Ted. How you doing? Ted says, "Hello, beautiful people. You found my girlfriend. I've been looking for her for a long time." There you go.
Yes, today's topic is going to be about, there are an increase of the homeless expats. We said we were going to cover it. I was going to cover a marshmallow dream situation, and I can't explain it right now. It'll be the next live stream. I was like, oh crap. I told the people that we would cover more about the homeless, and that there was a woman that was found, the woman that's Finnish, from Finland. And of course, we had discussed that there was another one in Surigao, looked to be probably just drunk out of her skull and lost, but they were calling her homeless over there. She looked homeless. She looked like she hadn't eaten, bathed, or anything in days. And it would make a difference living here in the Philippines versus the United States. The one place you don't want to end up homeless is in Southeast Asia. It's hard enough to be here as an expat and adjust. Whether you have money, whether you don't, it's the adjustment, it's missing the family, and you lose like a lot of support. And the first thing that was said about this woman is, take her to the embassy. Why isn't her embassy helping? Why isn't the U.S. embassy taking these people off the street when they find them? And there's a lot of them. They just found like 3 other guys recently. And it's mostly because they end up breaking up with their Filipina and they're refusing to go home. Well, we have some stuff and we have some clips, and there is an angel named Carrie. Okay, she's a Filipina. Hi, Carrie. She helps the actual expats that are there in the Manila area and other areas. She's dedicated a lot of time to helping them start businesses or people that are living here long term. She's been on Rafi Tulfo. I put the link to her channel inside the description, but she's an angel and she's been helping people. And it's, you know, we need, what's it called, an advocate? Like, she's advocating for the Philam or the foreigners here that are running into a hard time. Yeah, they're going to run into a hard time everywhere. And sure, they're in everybody's country, but there is a major big ass difference when it turns out to be you're in another country. Big difference if you end up homeless on the streets of Mexico versus Los Angeles. Big difference if you end up homeless in another country. End up, what was the name of that movie when they're over there and near the Czech Republic? What's that scary movie? Hostel. Dun dun dun. And next thing you know, you guys are on that actual show Hostel and stuff, or you know, you're doing a movie like that. What's the other one where it got weird? Where they put all the people in a room and they make them go through all the traps.
So
Yeah, something like that. So all I know is behave, people. So yeah, I'm kind of out there on that one today. It's Saturday, and I'm hyped on coffee, but we appreciate everybody being here. Looking kind of foggy today.
well, what Heidi's saying is, now what Heidi's saying is there is a difference between homeless in your own country and homeless in a different country. Those are two very distinct issues and problems.
Yeah, I mean, if
mean,
if I'm like homeless here, I'd be like, get off of me, get off me. You know, like little ants trying to mess with me on the streets. You know, compared to an oversized American or something messing with you on the streets trying to get a cigarette and a little fentanyl
well,
or
not to
something.
mention, you have to remember that there's this big giant misunderstanding or misnomer that all Filipinos can speak and understand English.
Which
That's it. No, that's not how it works.
remind me, guys, one of our people in our circle just covered that. I believe it was Geo recently. Hi, Geo. That actually went on about that. It's a misconception.
It's a myth. It's not. That's not how it works.
I have to use my AI translator probably half the time. Every time they call for an order and George isn't here or whatever, I have to actually it's the accents are really, really heavy like they were in Mexico. Well, they're probably heavy everywhere when you're in a foreign country, but the communication is way off, even if they get to an official, because this woman, let me give you a little information on her. This woman is a 48-year-old woman. I guess I should put the clip up in the beginning and then I'll replay it later on for those that don't come in. So I'm going to play a clip and it's her talking, okay, courtesy of Carrie. And then you're going to see some photos of her.
I want to meet you. Thank you for taking notice of me. I hope to see you. Okay. That's the message. In person.
Yeah, that was them, not us. Okay, so I want to let you know in that clip, that was her actually asking people for money. And then she started talking about work. And she has been in the Philippines for over 10 years. As I'm to understand, she's also been with Filipino partners. I can assume they're guys, but you know, to each his own. But she definitely has been with Filipino partners and came here when she was about 38 years old. So this is a 48-year-old woman. Initially, it was thought that she was American, but she is not. Okay, let's see. So I tried to see if Carrie had some additional information, and I appreciate all of her help on this. And again, she's an angel. And she also, I want to let you know that she's got a bachelor's degree. She's highly educated and very sweet. Carrie went looking for her for a few days on the street of Malate. Is that right, Malate? M-A-L-A-T-E, Malate, sorry. Okay. And her name is, they call her, is it Nanai instead of like Tatai? It'd be Nanai.
Tatai.
Nanai Melita from Finland, college educated. And when things fell apart, I don't have this story yet, so I'm sure it's coming out on her channel. So just keep an eye out on her channel. That things fell apart, and now she's on the streets living on a box every night, which for me goes to tell people that if you live on a box in Miami or Tampa or New York, it ain't that safe anymore in America. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's not exactly the safest here either, but I tell you what, if I had to choose a place to be homeless, one second, guys. Hello? You here? How much? Okay, see you in a minute.
Oh, they're not good.
Let me get it. I didn't think they would deliver today.
Okay.
All right, sorry guys. So yeah, I mean, if you're he'll roll up here in a minute. He said it was 2:44. Yeah.
Well, and remember, even if you're qualified, for instance, even if you are a college graduate, it's kind of like in the U.S. or wherever you're at. They're probably not going to hire you for a lot of reasons. One, age. Age does, make a difference as far as your productivity goes. Whether it's carrying stuff, or even like basic, clerical work. Age does, the younger you are, you're more energetic and more, gung ho. Well, the proper kids are, if that makes any sense. Second, with age comes cheap. If, if they're younger, they're cheaper. If you're older, you're more expensive. What I'm saying is, you may be qualified. It doesn't mean you're going to get a job. Most of the expats here that have a job, for example, there's this expat that is like a barangay tanod. He helps he helps out the cops. He's not a cop. He's basically barangay tanod, which is, he helps out the barangay. And how much does he make? Do you remember what? It's 1,700 pesos the entire month.
Yeah, I mean, Philippine prepping is saying here, if she's educated, she needs to go home and get a job. So that's what I was trying to get to, is that she doesn't want to go home. And I don't want to go home. If I ended up homeless, by the way, I've been homeless twice. Once was in a divorce, and it was better to be that way. And then another time, just everything got wiped out at once. Husband lost his job, all this stuff happened. And I was about 6 months pregnant. And it was because we went up north, the car broke down, we didn't get the jobs, and then we were homeless when I went back from Florida to Ohio, and I was probably in my mid-20s, early 20s. And so I've been there. I've been homeless, and it's happened to me twice, and once when the kids were like 5 or 6, I think was about their age. I could be off by a year or two. But I'm telling you that sometimes having education or wanting or where you're going to be homeless, she doesn't want to go home. And also she's very comfortable, comfortable enough. And I know that if something went south here, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to rough it out, tough it out, even over medical. I'm not going to go back and set up my life, especially with what's going on in the world. And I would not even think about going back to the US at this time for any reason. But she actually also is a drinker. So maybe she's just comfortable enough making enough money panhandling that she gets her beer. And here's another thing. And you guys are going to probably disagree. A lot of homeless want to be out there, whether they're using alcohol. That way they're not paying rent and electricity. You hear people say that homeless is a choice. Now, I would disagree with that part of it, but once they're out on the street, it is hard to get back. It's a real uphill battle, and she wants to. So all the comments for her was she needs to get the embassy. Rafi Tulfa is not going to help her because she's homeless. The embassy for Finland is not going to. There is a woman, another woman besides Carrie, that's been helping her that actually is trying to do all of that. They want to arrange her to get to the embassy. They want to help her. A lot of times Filipinos are coming through and forward enough to buy her ticket. They're trying to help these people. Carrie's been known to buy cell phones, food, clothing. She helped a few of them, like Tatai Empanada. She helped him with the business. Now, Rafi Tulfo helped him with his immigration stuff. I currently don't know her status as far as I would to understand. she was on a regular visa. I can't see that. Maybe she is on an SR, you know, maybe she did pay for an SRRV in the beginning. I don't know how long that program's been around. Mary, leave the kitty alone. Mary's chewing on the cat. But here, let me play the rest of this.
We missed each other. I don't know why.
I don't know who that is. It could be her boyfriend. I don't know. But this is how she lives. And she's been living like this. And believe me, she's healthy enough that she could get up and leave. She doesn't want to. So there's beautiful Carrie. She took her to go get her favorite foods. She tends to give money. She's legit. She's one of those legit people that really do help. She's also, in the past, I mentioned she's being chastised because they're saying a lot of Filipinos are not happy with her. They're saying that she uses too many laugh tracks, but sorry, that's normal. And that she also should be helping Filipinos, not expats. Well, here's the thing. There are a lot of people helping Filipinos too. You know, you got a lot of Filipinos helping Filipinos. Not that it's solving the problem, but I give her props for helping the foreigners that are coming in, and that this is happening too. But understand, I guess I'm still sticking with the fact that right now it looks like that I think her name is Malia, M-A-I-L-A. Malia is making that choice to stay here and live on the street. Evidently, she doesn't like the cold. Mary, stop. Evidently, could be too cold in her country to go back. Maybe she doesn't have any more family. Maybe there's no jobs, like you said, at her age. And if she can have a few beers like she likes to have, and she can not pay rent and get by like that, then, you know, that is her choice. So it's hey Bruce, what's going on? So yeah, she took her to get pizza, and she brightened her day. And she's done this over and over again, where she helps people, and it's just where it is. Yeah, these are just additional photos. I think that's the most adorable one. That kitten sleeps by her face. She doesn't leave. Isn't that weird how the puppies and dogs, some people, I've seen the homeless here, expat and Filipinos, they tie the cats nearby. I've seen them tied on a string on their ankles. I've seen everything, and they love those animals. And the kitten just sit there walking around her face because there's a video of it. And I'm like, that kitten just absolutely is so cute. But it's sad at the same time that it's, you know, there's a blessing, you know, that Carrie is helping people like this. Also, what I was talking about earlier was the woman in Surigao. Again, I seen that video. I don't want to play it. It was very sad. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, let me get up. Yeah, I am. Give me a minute. I was just sitting there thinking about I needed to, or we can do that one. But I think we have to retilt the like this, like we did the last. Let's do it that way.
Oh, so Heidi made she made some white chocolate, and it's actually really good. It's sugar free.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to show you because I ate it all. This
I'm freaking Willy Wonka
this
now.
one I've been saving this. This is well, you can see there's a bite of it. It's what is this?
Basically, it's just peanut butter fudge, sugar free, except for the natural peanut butter that I use. So
Right.
basically, it's got some butter and some pressed coconut oil, which gives it the thickness.
And is this sugar free?
Yeah, I actually added the. I use erythritol because all these stevia in them give me a headache. But if you try to buy any sugar-free candies, which I've had it now for about a week, so I only eat like a piece every now and then. But I just had George try it out, and it is pretty good. You would not know that's sugar-free.
It's really
and
good.
It's fresh.
You really can't tell it's sugar-free. For those of you in the Philippines, if you guys ever have eaten this candy bar called Choco Nut, That's exactly what it tastes
And
like.
that's because I roasted the peanut butter. It was put over there because there's actually some nuts. I got to get a video here. Yeah, so it's the chocolate that I actually used. Oh, that's going to come up now. Remind me, that's our outro. I have an outro for those who've been supporting the channel, and thank you guys so much for your support.
Thank you so much for your
For our
support,
birthday. July is our
appreciate you so
birthday month, and we'll be going a bunch of places. We figured we're going to do a bunch of individual things, and everybody's been really generous. But this is us AI. But if I bring it, I wonder why it's doing.
Because it's waiting on you.
Oh, interesting. Wow. So when you go to look for videos during the live stream, it'll actually do that to us also, evidently. So yeah, the real quick on the side note, the chocolate I made was a white chocolate, which people say is not chocolate, which technically it's not. It's just a milk. It's a milk and cocoa butter situation, which still has cocoa in it. And I made lemon with fresh lemon, and then I sprinkled pink Himalayan salt on top. So it was really an odd lemon sprinkle of salt with the white chocolate. It was different. So I was like, I'm freaking Willy Wonka now, man. So look, it took everything away again.
Yeah, but it's really good, guys.
Thank you for the go figure. Everything is so manual with this new software. So anyways, but yeah, so I was starting to talk about that homeless woman. Got sidetracked there. The homeless woman, turns out that she, hey there, what's going on? It takes it down.
AK Dallas.
In Shergao, I don't know if she just over partied and ended up on the street for a while, but a lot of people couldn't even figure out who she was. And there were Filipinos hand feeding her. That's how bad she was, sitting on a bench in Shergao. And I mean, it's sad that a Filipina found him like that, but I'm wondering why other expats is like, hey, I'm on vacation. I don't have time to take care of a drunk kid, or I don't have time to help a homeless person over there. But it took the Filipina to actually help the person. And it looks like they straightened that one out. That's the one that has the look on their face. Hey, what's going on, Black Grandpa? Good morning, Second Wind.
Hey, Second Wind.
Yeah, it's weird. I'll put this up, but it's weird. It doesn't show what it is. Love the hair. Friday, 8 o'clock. Yes. I take it she's in the mid-US because it's still 9 and 9, right? So it'd be 8 o'clock if they're in like the Kansas area or something. Hey, AI Coconut, good to see you, a local vlogger with us. I won't even get into the Filipina P. I'm going to take a look at that video, last few videos she did. I need to catch up, dealing with the vloggers and stuff. It's not going to apply to anybody. I eat my shorts if anybody goes by those laws. 99% of them aren't registered. 99% of them aren't registered for the taxes. They just got their tax number in and collecting a check.
Yeah, not the same thing.
Not the same thing.
If for those of you who are wondering what that means, is it doesn't mean that you put in your social security. It doesn't mean you're paying taxes
With Google, yeah.
because that's basically your,
or paying their taxes back in Canada. If you're living here and you've been here for several years, you no longer just pay your taxes only to the U.S. based on your income. Those taxes don't belong to the U.S. They belong to the Philippines. You work here in the Philippines, you pay to the Philippines. We've been into the tax people. We've been talking to attorneys. So they're not enforcing that. I don't know how they're going to enforce because somebody wasn't blurred out, but it is a thing going on. The vloggers are supposed to not do it anymore. Like anybody, children, people. In other words, they're supposed to keep the camera on them only. And I hate to say it, it's not only people that are monetized. It's those monetized people. There's extra steps to it, and them aren't the only ones. Thank you so much, Bobby.
Oh, is that what that is? It's a Shiba dog.
Oh,
it's really cute. You guys can't see it, but it's Well, you guys can see it in the chat. It's a Shiba dog in somewhere. Yeah. Thank you so much, Bobby G. I appreciate you so much.
We'll put that towards George's doghouse anyways.
There you go.
We'll upgrade the doghouse. Laura's in the house, Philippine prepping. Izzy and Chris is in the house. But yeah, there's been an increase in homeless people. Hey, what's going on, Bruce? I was literally just thinking about you. Like, we were going through what we go through Messenger several times a day. And it's like we see like the messages of people that we had talked to, and then it gets kind of, yeah, someone said German accent. No, she is definitely from Finland, which is close to, maybe she speaks both languages, but she's definitely, Carrie, who is from Carrie's Tasty Travels, has already met up with her a few times. So she's confirmed all of where she's from. So at first, like I said, about a month ago, I said, oh my God, it's an American woman. What's that white woman doing out on the street? I was like, that could be me if George takes away all the funds and kicks me out of the house. And who knows? Baby, you want to kick me out? How long do you think I would last on the streets of the Philippines? What do you think will get me first? The ants, the men, the ladies, the other homeless people, starvation?
No comment.
The heat?
Probably.
Well, what's the top 3 things that'll get me on the street?
Probably.
Besides the lady boys. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get me a gang of lady boys. I'm going to go down there to Walking Street, and I'm going to say, listen, I'm going to be all gangster about it, right? Peep this. I'm going to go down there, and I'm going to run that area. I'm going to get me a bunch of lady boys like they do up in Manila, and these lady gangs get together, and we're going to go around and start collecting money from the bars. I'm going to start bringing back that old style Al Capone stuff, and I'm going to start doing protection. I'll keep the lady boys away from your place.
Good fellas.
Gotcha. And I'm going to keep the lady boys off your property, and I'm going to do this, and that. I need pizza now every day.
That's a great movie. Goodfellas.
I love Goodfellas. It's one of my top movies besides The Color Purple and Shawshank Redemption and A Few Good Men and Strawberry Fields Forever and
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. What's the one where it's got that Ricky Bobby? Oh, Ricky Bobby.
Shake and bake. Ricky Bobby.
Shake
Ricky
and
Bobby.
bake.
Shake and bake.
So that's me. I'm going to hit it. The one thing that'll probably cause me to keel over is the heat. That's what's going to happen. If my fan isn't working or the AC, I'm out.
Nights.
Talladega Nights. So that's just where it is. So, oh boy, that's, let's see where we're at. Audio seems to lack some bass. Is not bad. Oh, okay. So we're getting a confirmation.
He's in Tropic Thunder, right? What's his name?
Are these adjusted?
Sorry,
right? Because
I keep forgetting that actor's name for some strange reason.
And if I don't have scented candles, I might pass out on the street too. Are these all adjusted right? And is this because
it
the
seems
audio?
like he moved them.
That's because AI told me to move them.
No.
Yes, he did. I let him see the photo, and they said to put it midway.
Okay. Well, then why asking me then if you're listening?
Because I don't have to ask you anymore.
I mean, but there's the
reverb thing.
No, the reverb is this one. This one.
All about the bass. The bass.
Other than that, yeah. But anyway.
And if we didn't say good morning, and Bobby G again, thank you. And there's the lacking.
Like some bass.
Most countries don't have social programs for their own citizens, and that country's job isn't to take care of you. I agree. And they're not even back in the U.S., but at least, like I said, if people were back in their home countries, they might have a friend. At least the communication and the English is point on. If you're in Canada, you'd be with your Canadians. If you're from, Spain, you would go back to Spain. At least there's a clear communication. Here, there is so much miscommunication, as far as the language barriers that even with government offices. Even George, he's trying to, being as I speak English, when we go to the offices, poor George is like, they're speaking to God. I'm like, what are they saying? What are they saying? And George is trying to listen to him, but then he responds back in English. What are you saying? What are you saying? You know, and he's trying to be respectful. I was like, no, just speak Tagalog and get it over with. You know, it's just too much. But even then, you said there's some, when you go, when you speak, there's language barriers, which would make it harder. But big difference trying to get help. Are the Filipinos generous here? Yes. Will they take you in your house? Like that guy that ended up going back to England and dying, the one that Ding Dong took care of. And he kept him on his YouTube channel forever, collected all that money for him on his YouTube channel. In the end, the guy initially, when the vlogger found him, he was living with a Filipino in the house. His Social Security got cut off. The Social Security check got cut off from the bank. And he lived with the Filipino family, and there wasn't a whole lot of money coming in. He had to rely on the family. And so if they just eat fish and rice, and they're just eating rice, like he was skinny when he found him, he was hardly eating. They had him, you know, set up a certain way. And if you have to rely on somebody else, you have to roll with it. But the guy couldn't get back to the UK. As I'm to understand, he went back to the UK and then he passed away. But the guy was up there in age, allegedly an American green card holder, but yet was from the UK, another confused British wannabe American / whatever expat that's here that wants to grab onto the best ride that he can, ended up going, so supposedly he was collecting a check from America for Social Security and living in the Philippines, but the banking got all messed up. Anyways, went home and then he passed away. So you're not going to get a lot of help. So I know I'm kind of all over the place like my hair today. Leave George alone. He's running for president for the Philippines. Are you? I wish.
Right. Yeah.
Does that mean I get to be first lady? Or are you first lady and then I get to be president on the backside like Melania running the country? I tell you this, it is me that runs the country. Genius visa. How'd that happen? Oh my God.
Yeah, no, and I'm not talking about Robert Downey Jr. I mean, everybody knows Robert Downey. I'm talking about the Will Ferrell's buddy in that movie. I keep forgetting his name.
Which one?
The guy with the mustache. The guy who took his wife.
Oh, I don't remember.
When they pray over Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Make the comments, guys, and if you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. But I just want to tell people to comment, and it helps the channel. We got 115 people in the room. Every time you make a comment, it pushes the video. It doesn't make us any richer, and well, it just brings us more people in to pick on. Why don't you pick on somebody today, George? Who do you want to pick on? Pick somebody in the room to pick on. Pick on Bruce today.
What?
Say something nice and bad about Bruce at the same time.
What?
Bruce, your hair is a mess and you have a beautiful wife and you have a good smile.
Bobby G says there's grass stores in every corner in my home neighborhood.
Check it out, Mookie. Hey, I like that. Maybe we'll change the other channel over to Mookie. If this person's name is Mookie Wilson, it might really be their name.
Doubt it.
Right, but Mookie.
Could be a nickname.
I know, but it's cute. Is she single? Actually, I thought she looked a little rough for 48. I mean, I'm about ready to turn 54, and I know I look rough. No, she's 48. And to me, she looks older than me. People confuse fat and white with being old. I mean, I don't know how many times since I've been here that I've been said that I was George's mother, and I'm only, 3 years older than you? I don't think I look like your mother, although you look like you're 20.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I'm talking to you. Remember when the people kept saying that is that your mother? And then you had to tell them that I was your wife.
Oh.
I'm saying that they mistake the white skin and being overweight. Do I actually look 54?
No, of course not.
You think the weight and the whiteness makes me look older?
You look 80.
White cracks, yeah. I mean, I'm not like
joking,
dark
I'm
skin.
joking. No.
The darker the
No,
skin, the
no, you
sweeter the
don't.
berry
I
situation. This white berry is cracking.
No, actually, no. It's opposite. You have to remember that usually, no. If you were thin, it'll make you look older. Yes.
I think it make me look younger, but I think they mistake. Anyways, yeah, Finnish.
Finish, yeah.
Yeah, and there was the comment about her going home. Laura, hey, sweetie, my city is a great place to be homeless. Weather is comfortable and police do not have time to bother you. Bring your tent. Yeah, you can set it up in the middle of the sidewalk. You know, me and George talked about, Laura, that before we decided to come to the Philippines, I guess our other plan was to get a plot of land. That was always your individual retirement plan, right? Off
Right.
grid or and a prepper and everything else. And I'm with that because when I lived in the Ozarks a long time ago, geez, that's got to be 30 years ago, that you could get land for about $80 a month for like 20 acres, and nice ones were like $200 a month. And so to get a plot of land back then, or even when maybe when George was looking, would be inexpensive. Like, yeah, I can do it. I can do it just like I thought I could do it here. I think there'd be all these problems. But people get to the Philippines and then they realize it's a whole different animal. George says, you know, it's going to be hot there. You know, there's reasons why people leave the Philippines. I'm like, I got this. I got this. I was like, oh, it can't be any worse than Mexico, or it can't be any worse than living in Florida, or it can't be any worse than, I was like gung ho, man. I was so gung ho. There was an extra H in the middle of that name. Gung H ho.
Right.
Gung Heidi.
Remind us
Gung Heidi
where
ho.
you live, Laura. What city is that is?
I believe she's in California.
California. Oh, so she must be in Southern California.
I don't know, but you don't want to be when we took off from Florida like a long time ago, not me and him, but when my kids were little, our car broke down like at the rate as we entered Ohio coming from Florida. And we ended up being picked up by a church. The police called a church, and we were in a small town, and they had to stay like 3 days during a winter storm. And we decided to rough it out in that town and just make a life. And then we were probably for like 2 months as we were looking for jobs. We actually stayed. The church had like churches were really nice there. They set us up in a place that was temporary, but yeah, you're just not going to get programs like that. But it was ice cold. You don't want to live on the streets when there's snow and actually extreme heat. I don't even know how people do it. If I was to panhandle around town, I would have to pay half my money for junk food, and the other half would have to be for somebody to fan me all day. Or I'd have to break somebody's legs if they didn't do it. You know what? I would hey, George, I can tie a cat to one leg in the middle of the night and then a person to fan me.
Right. So she lives in San Francisco. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
California.
California.
That's what I thought.
California.
We do both. We rarely get stuff from Shopee because every time we put it on a credit card or COD, the COD, I can see why they put it back into an account, but the banking was the same way. They said that we needed to give them our bank account number to have the money given back to us. Now, unless that's changed in the last few months, remember when I said they wanted me to enter our bank account number to get the refund? And I'm like, why couldn't they just put it right back to the card that it came from? But we use Lazada. We highly approve of Lazada and Shein too. To me, Shein is the actual, is that still up on air though? So that's weird. Maybe somebody at the beginning, but
I would put the one in the corner.
Yeah.
So that it knocks off the other one.
Yeah, let me put that up there. That's the PayPal support, but thank you guys. But Shein, to me, out of all of them, Temu and all that have better products. Basically, everything half of it that ends up on Lazada is Shein items. But we find that we like them both. And we were just telling our daughter about that if we were in the US, even if he was running the business still, and then I was bringing in the Social Security, when we placed orders, we were going through a lot of money on Amazon. And then we would have the deliveries that we would either have delivered or we do the pickup of items at Walmart or whatever. We were going through hundreds of dollars a week just doing, the shopping at home because we found it to be where we could compare it. If you guys go out and start doing the shopping here on the street, like the Lazada guy looked at me like I was nuts yesterday. There were like 7 or 8 items, but they were food items because I can't find pumpkin seeds like within an area. You're not going to get them even at SM.
Yeah, I wouldn't even
Pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. I couldn't get the refined coconut oil. I couldn't get avocado oil. So all the healthy food I've been eating for the last 2 weeks, and it all had to get got on Lazada, because there's a place called something Healthy Grocers. And by the way, with me switching out the fast food and us eating out all the time, it easily converted into eating healthier. And then what would you bring for breakfast this morning after you went out to go?
Jelly.
Yeah, I had to turn him down on that, but that's because he loves me. I appreciate it. But I did eat the egg, which still, but so anyways, I digress to you're just not going to find a lot of items, and it's going to, if I bought those pumpkin seeds for 500 grams or a pound of them locally, I probably would have paid, well, 700-800 pesos, and they're 300 online from a reputable organic, situation. And, they got to pay for the storefront. And then on top of that, if it's from the actual public market, and that's even if I even see any seeds here. It's not like the Middle East or the UK or something. You're going to pay.
Well, even in the West, most of these stuff you can't find in a walk-in store anymore. And it's because it's kind of like this. Like, okay, let's go to the basics, like hardware stores. It's cheaper to go to Amazon, go to Lazada or whatever, to order the tools and whatever, have it delivered.
Yeah, like when we went to that last store, the mall, it was like 3-4 times as much. And you may go from store to store, especially here in the Philippines. You're talking about all the traffic. You could be spending hours, and we just got straight to the point.
If I need
I'm a little lazy, but
like today, most of the time I literally, like a ping pong, I mean not a ping pong ball, a pinball, bouncing from one store to another looking for this tool, because and then I look at the shelves. Most of these shelves are empty, and because they can't compete with online shopping.
No, they can't.
You have to remember this. In the US, it's not as prevalent, because the difference is in the US, if a store can't afford to keep stock in the store, they close down the store. Here,
you know what?
The store stays open, except the store is empty.
And you know what? These stores are just full of Chinese crap.
Well, yeah, I mean, but
that's a joke. We know it's online too. I just wait.
Right, but point being is, like, for example, seeds, whether it's planting seeds or dried seeds for consumption, it's getting harder and harder to find them in a walk-in store now.
George came home. He went to the place that sold the cat food and the rice, and he brought me home bird seed. I said, I am not putting that on my yogurt. He said, I thought they were the same. I said, no, sir. He said, yeah, but it was cheap. I said, okay, I'll try it for a while, but I couldn't get past those little pebble things that were just round. They almost look like sesame seeds, but they're not. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. Even if it is 50 cents for 5 pounds. Oh my God, I'm joking. So, but no, it is a much better way. But like I said, I think right now things are at least half price, in my opinion. We ended up getting the food processor. If we'd have bought that even at Walmart, that's a $40, $50 unit. Easy. It's a blender, what do they call those smoothie things where you fill up the bullets? There's a 3-piece to it, and it costs less than $20, and it's not bad quality. It works just fine. It's been working. That same unit up there would have been at least $40 or $60 even. So we pay a fraction of the cost to live here, and that's exactly why. So George doesn't have to do without beer and garlic peanuts, and I don't have to do without him telling me not to do without.
Yeah, I mean, and for example, like our fridge. I've seen the fridge in the mall or in not SM, but in other places, and it's literally 5,000 pesos more. And it's like the same item, and it's like,
yeah,
I hate to say this, but it's just so much cheaper buying stuff online.
It is. And I used to think, who would order a refrigerator through, especially here in the Philippines? We have. And we even ordered did the bed frame itself come online?
No. Oh, wait.
The The
Wait,
frame we
no,
did,
no,
the
no.
mattress we got at SM because it was
Right.
COVID and we weren't allowed to leave. Remember, we were quarantined off to our area. You couldn't cross into Angel City. You couldn't, and we're in Mavalaka. We're at the other SM and everything. So no, the frame we did and the other attachments and legs and stuff, but the mattress we did get.
Yeah.
The couch we manually went in also and got that one. But most everything else was easy because the comparison of being at the mall for electronics and all of that, unless you actually need it. So Laura said education does not equate to employability. And I would agree. Usually I would say
true.
just because she does, we talked about that here, and somebody actually put it wasn't really a meme, it was a harsh truth. They showed like people, I guess, in either Singapore or Thailand. I don't remember which one, but it was another Asian country. They showed their qualification, showing up for the job, hired. And then they showed here, college education. They have to go get all these backgrounds. They have to go to the barangay and get a clearance. Like all these things are required to get a job here. It's not even a joke. And then you're being paid. Let's say we're being generous, 1,000 pesos to 500. And the average jobs that I looked at just 2 years ago, what was it at Eggs and Breaking? 500, 400 pesos a day. Feed store, 300 pesos.
On average, 500 is like the average benchmark.
Okay, $10 a day. So it's kind of crazy. But yes, the education thing. But yeah, no, just because she does, a lot of people do, it doesn't mean that she's going to. What I had heard is initially she did and was employed here. That's what I heard. So I don't know what happened. So checking in, what is going on? And yeah, Laura said that she is from there. Oops, what happened? Yeah, I was trying to bring in our outro video. I did make the outro video. So I guess weirdly, I think I'm going to have to go back to StreamYard. I hate to pay double and triple, but I just don't like this system. Everything is so manual. The only thing that we really like and why we're trying to stick with it is we can do other things up on the screen. You could do advertisement. We can attach it to the other, you said, what's it called that we're trying to learn right now, which we like it. It's like a better streaming software, but it's a little bit more, yeah, sorry. I'm being sarcastic about truthful. Hey, Joseph. Okay, you're in Baltimore right now. Weather sucks. I bet. Okay.
There's a lot. So that's why I said I wouldn't. It's not what it's about.
Yeah. No, they're not playing around. ICE is not playing around, and I don't want to get into that very far, but it's gone too far. When the president ran, again, we're not for or against. We're against the stupidity that's done, whether they're Democrat or Republican. But he ran on the basis of cleaning the country up from the illegals. And I think people are on board with that to some extent. But when you start ripping kids out of foster homes, young ones, when you start ripping them from the parents, when you're kicking and punching somebody in the face on public TV of a guy that was at work, an old man, there's a big difference. The whole goddamn country was run and built and based on immigrants. The president's like whole family is nothing but immigrants. Like, I mean, his mother, his grandfather, all these things in the country was, and I don't like how immigration is costing 100 times more. It shouldn't cost that kind of money to stay in the country. It shouldn't cost to have safety, and it's just out of control. It's 100% out of control. That it needed to be done. The bad people is the way he was basing. He was going to get rid of the people that were out of control, not innocent people that didn't renew their green card or was promised a card from the previous president. It's anything to add on to that ICE thing. I mean, it has kind of tipped into something different. There'd be no reason to kick a guy in the face on television. I mean, they did it right there in front of people, and now they've got him in a horrible detention center. There are people, and
Okay, now, here's the problem. And first off, they're not showing you the whole everything.
that's true.
Whether you're pro Yeah, I'm not against the government or anything, or I'm not again against Trump or pro. What I'm saying is I'm trying to be neutral here. It doesn't matter which side you're on. You guys have to remember that they're not showing you everything. And also, you guys have to remember that they're, and what I mean by they're not trying to show you everything is from what we've been seeing. I'm being specific here. What we have been seeing, or rather, what they have been showing on social media, that they're going after the ones that are already established. They're established aliens, aka, and these are not your aliens
You're talking
that
about like the veteran that had to leave Hawaii.
correct. These are that's what I'm saying is these are not your illegal aliens that do trouble. Now I'm just saying again that what we've been shown and what they're showing
Hey,
is
Sarah. Thank you,
they're
Sarah.
going after the ones that are not causing any trouble, the ones that are actually working, the ones that are actually established, the one that's been here for years. And what they haven't been showing is they're not going after the ones that are causing problems. They're not showing that they are going after the ones that, do these break-ins, you know, the ones that, rob stores and stuff like that. So, and that's where the imbalance is. And what I'm saying is, if I were the government, I would show both sides. So the question is, why aren't we seeing both sides? And I get that, social media tends to highlight, certain things.
So you're talking about this one,
What's that?
as he should
No,
be.
there's a lot of them. So.
Right, but you see who that is.
No, I know that. Yeah, but anyway, so that's the problem. And again, I'm not blaming any particular, faction. That's okay. But that's what I mean. And so that's the issue that we face. And again, I'm just being fair here. Fair is fair. I'm just saying what's actually being shown to us. I'm not saying it's not happening. Maybe it is happening and they're not showing it to us, or maybe it's not happening and that's why they're not showing it to us. We don't know. Again, they're not showing the whole picture. And remember too that when they're showing these deportation rates, they're actually lower than they really are. This is not
like 10%
correct. It's not
or less right
right.
now.
We're not seeing like truckloads of
it's media. Yeah, it's
right.
It's
it's not what we imagine it to be, and we think that this is going on such a large scale. It's not. It really isn't. So social media it can be poisonous. Whether people mean to do good or bad, social media can be poisonous. I'm just saying.
And here's the thing, I'm still going to address it. I can't help myself because we always have our big fan in here that loves me. Number one, the British expat is in the house and he obviously is obsessed with me. Probably not George, but me, because you don't ever address George, you address me. So let me address you. Go sit down in a corner, old man. Just go somewhere and sit down. Coming up in our room trying to bring some legality about you have two people on your thumbnail, which breaks the rules. And we have a disclaimer. And when the country cleans up all the other crap that's going in here and they go after everybody else, then we'll worry about it. You worry about you and I'll worry about me. And then why don't you do some content based on that? Are we going to do a video? No, because we feel it's stupid. All the ones that cover it, I'm gonna call you out, it's just stupid. You're just feeding into the rest of the media. There's been a privacy law since 2012. There also was this entire thing put out in March, so it's not new. They're just reposting it because dumbass Vitelli. And so the rule's been there. And do you think the Filipinos and the expats are going to remove everything or stop doing thumbnails with people? That just sounds stupid. So you are supposed to do what we've already done, and we've already talked to a lawyer. So mind your business, old man, and go sit down somewhere,
Well,
because
and
all you are is obsessed with us.
and to talk calling the kettle.
Okay. I mean, no, he's weird, and he, we got a message or two that he was doing content, and nobody cares about you,
Well,
crusty old man.
And like
You
I
are the
said,
one that are desperate for money and got your own shit going on in your own back door, back room, and everything else. Keep making the content. You just make our channel grow, but we don't watch your shit. We're told that you're doing shit. And then you have the nerves, balls, and audacity to come up in the room. Okay, it really doesn't make that. You wouldn't confront us. And then you sitting there saying crap like that. You can go back and say, oh, I bothered Heidi today, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. You don't know shit, old man. I guarantee you ain't paying taxes to the Philippines. You've been living here, old man. So even if you got your legal status together, you need to register your YouTube channel, not in America, not in the UK. You need to pay your taxes here because you work here. And I am sure of that. You are not protected by other countries or whatever. You're working in the Philippines. You're doing vlogs every day. You've had multiple channels. You're definitely monetized. And you probably aren't even following the other rules, and you're talking shit right now. Mind your own business, old man. Mind it.
now Lost in the PH says the problem is Trump is pushing for authoritarianism. Sorry, authoritarianism in the U.S. His push for ICE to act without due process is part of the authoritarian playbook. I'm not sure democracy will survive Trump. Now, okay, again, regardless of which side you're on, okay, again, I'm trying to talk in the most neutral manner here because again, it's not about me. It's actually not about Trump. And I even told Heidi the problem is I had with Trump's speech last again, I'm not trying to be pro or anti-Trump here. The problem I have with Trump's last speech is I did this, I that, I this, no, really. And I was like, wait,
Oh,
whoa,
sorry,
whoa, whoa.
Pete's Hegsworth looked like a Saturday Night Live skit. This last bit of attacking even Fox, their own station that promotes them, that's partially owned by all of that. But it was weird. It all looked like a SNL skit.
So as I was saying in his last speech, that's what he was saying. And my issue with that is this isn't about you. This isn't about Trump.
Right.
This is about the United States of America. So why are you keep saying I this, I that? It's not about you.
Yeah.
It's never been about you. You were not elected by the people for Trump. You were elected by the people for the people. So, and that's my issue. And now, and again, I'm not. That's why I'm like says this authoritarianism. The problem is they're pulling these acts. These they're not bills. These are law now. Again, like they can basically technically deport anybody without due process. That these are not new rules. These are old rules that are already built in the system. Now he's pulling all the stops and using these, but that's not why they're there. So is he technically following the law? Technically he is, but is he using it the proper way? I disagree.
Yeah, it needs to be about the people.
And so
yeah, it's always been about the people. It's not about Democrat or Republican. Wrong is wrong and then right is right when it comes down to what's going on. There's just a bunch of things going on.
Right. And like they say, again, absolute power brings absolute corruption. Regardless of how good the intentions are, absolute power brings absolute corruption. So what I'm saying is these old laws that he's using are really not meant for that, but he's doing it. So that gives him
new
absolute power.
Yes.
Now, that's up to him whether or not he stays to the good side, which again, now again, guys, some of you, I really don't want to get political, but I'm just trying to make things clear here.
Well, here's the thing. It's okay for the other expat channels and other Filipinos to talk politics the moment me and
well,
you
this isn't
do.
about politics. That's
Correct.
the thing.
Well,
The thing is some, even I probably have the chat. I hope not. Probably have the chat says, "Oh yeah, let's bring the fight to them. Let's bring the fight to the Middle East." No. Why? One, you're not the one going out there fighting. You're not the one risking your life. Trump is not the one going out there fighting. Trump is not the one going out there risking his life. No, he has soldiers that which he's never met, never seen,
yes.
and he has no problem
Over somewhere we don't belong.
right. And or some of you don't have a problem. Oh yeah, let's start this war. No,
it's just like George
these
said,
are people
right
that you're sending over there with families, with kids,
and it's a business, and Trump is a businessman. War is a business. That's where it actually is. Do you know that, real quick on the side note, there was a Ukrainian reporter that asked Trump during an actual press meeting, when are you going to sell weapons and warheads to Ukraine? Right in the middle of a meeting, and it tripped me out. Isn't that something that only political people, shouldn't that be the president talking to the president about that, not an individual reporter asking about warheads to be sold to another country in front of the world? Kind of odd, isn't it?
Well, it's not odd. It's kind of,
I guess it was putting them out that they're selling weapons
correct.
to the rest of the world.
That's
right.
basically what it was.
Okay.
Yes.
So I kind of missed that. But either way, the situation went on that this is a business, and all the taxes that Elon Trump claimed he saved, and that big bill coming out is another issue. It's going to cost out the yingus for all of this. So that means the country spirals into more debt. Guys, if there's a weapon set up somewhere that they think that Iran had, we was going to kiss our butt goodbye with that Russia has and all these other countries. Russia is like number one, China, and then the U.S. And you guys are going after the little guy down there that's got little to none. So what's the deal? It's about money, isn't it? It's all about money, isn't it? Why aren't they bowing up to Russia? Why aren't they bowing up to China? I know George will answer why. Anyways, liquor in the Philippines is cheap. Rum and whiskey and vodka produced locally cost really nothing. No, and it could be. It's really inexpensive to live here. And with her being homeless, yeah, it actually becomes inexpensive. I don't know who that is. I'll just put it up here anyway. Izzy, what are your thoughts on Cindy Cinco, Pinoy baiting in the U.S.?
No, I don't know her.
Pinoy baiting. An
blogger.
Explanation for the people about Pinoy baiting.
It's the opposite. So
yeah, I'm trying to think exactly how to explain that. I guess, isn't that, trying to find a way to explain that. Yeah, it's a Filipino that's talking about her own people, isn't it? Going against them or talking about them, or...
Well, I don't know how she's doing it, so I can't say anything.
I think she's actually, she's living in the U.S., but that's just it. We've talked about the Americans, the British, the other people that are here that talk about, it's social media now. Now everybody just talks shit on air, period, and most of them can't even back their ass. I see all these women and men being tough over this war thing and Iran and all of this. I'm like, them bitches couldn't even whip their way out of a wet paper bag, and nor could they back it. And a lot of them are just in their 20s. And I'm like, they're like, go for it, go for the war. And we need to be, and we're tough this and send this. And I'm like, geez, you guys are very young. Let's see. You can read anything out. I'm just kind of going through them, like you said. Yeah, I saw a lady living in a refrigerator box. That's crazy. What happened to the tall American homeless guy? I haven't seen him in a long time. Are you talking about the one that almost looks like a caveman? He's still wandering around. There's a few of them around here, and it's sad. It's really, really sad. She is the kitten mama. Yeah, she is. I wouldn't want to go back either. Would it be illegal for one of us to start up a fund for the foreigners who fall short, like for bills, rent, or safe flights back home? You know, there are a lot of them that actually do help. I mean, there are, once a lot of us vloggers find out and people do, they want to help. But the problem is a lot of time it's incomplete. They don't want to tell us their entire story. Or like that British guy that we had on 2 or 3 live streams. Turns out in the end he wasn't being upfront. Like, turns out there was more to the story than just that. And there were tons of people that contacted him, and then he started his own YouTube channel. Then there were funds coming in. Then he made it to the airport, and things just weren't what they seemed for him. And as I'm to understand, he had like some issues going on in his life, and I think they were down to drinking, or and then he had problems with his family, but he really wasn't prepared to leave his wife to begin with. I mean, there was a lot, the guy out in the province, but whole point is there are people that do help, and there are other expats once they know. Yeah, I'm paying attention to the time. Yeah. Thank you so much, Marion.
Sperlin, as far as doing fundraisers, it depends on how you do it as far as legality is concerned. So for example, like you're technically not allowed to do a, let's say us, if we want to do a collection drive, you probably can't do it publicly, if that makes any sense.
But yeah, we can suggest, like, I just noticed that other YouTube channel that I'm not like really into, he's actually running a GoFundMe on that military guy that we watched, and it's in his name. The money's coming into his thing, and so there are ways around it.
Right.
But I just noted that the Peachback Mountain woman just put on her thing that she's doing a fundraiser. When I checked into the fundraising, for the most part, you need to have a 501. You have to go through and register all that. She's still running one, but when I went in, she checked the box to add a company, which you can do that on YouTube. So let's say we wanted to back the, Americans Vet, funds in Florida or something. You can put their information and the money would go directly, and there's a link. But there are some vloggers that use that link that doesn't have the 501k. And then there's little men in this room that want to talk about somebody's in somebody's photo when they don't know what they're talking about because they read a few things and they think they know the freaking law. But you can't, like, it's really hard when you're in somebody else's country. You just can't. Well, you just can't. Even Filipinos.
Even if you're not, even in the US, you can't just randomly start up a fundraiser.
That's why when we've done it, we've had people that were in trouble. We said, you need to contact them direct. You can send them PayPal money. You can do this, and that. But we can't be like those others that have collected enough to build a house, hand over the money, and they've collected 20,000 US dollars. Literally, there's been vloggers in Dumaguete that have done that, and then they dump it right back into something else. And then, but they don't even catch those people. They don't deal with those people. They're random on who they want to go after here. So it's
well, it's like this. For instance, like Heidi says, the funds go directly to the person doing the fundraising, and that leaves it to abuse, or rather, they just take the money and run kind of deal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Again, doesn't matter what country you're in. Like, there is for example, a YouTube channel in the US where he kind of started fundraising for this family, and then he has them on video, and he gets all the money, and then he dispenses them some money, and then, but not all the money. So now there's an issue where, is he doing it the right way? And then the family found out, like, wait a minute, he's collecting more money than he's giving us. yada yada
Yeah,
yada.
it's actually how they're going to
Yeah, and
enforce it, how
that's
it's
in the
done.
U.S. too. And what I'm saying is, fundraising is somewhat tricky, depending on how you do it. Most of the time, when I did fundraising in the U.S., now in the U.S. we did a lot of fundraising, but we did it under the church's umbrella.
His previous marriage.
Right. So what I'm saying is, all the fundraising experience I have, we have an umbrella. So
Yeah, because he had a business for 10 years.
right,
So there was
and
you just have to know the laws,
correct.
do the best you can, and know the limits of the law and know how they're going to enforce them. Because all this shit of this Privacy Act and the thing with collecting charity, they don't, it's, you should always follow the law. I'm not saying break the law because they don't enforce it, but I'll worry about having somebody in my thumbnail when they go after everybody in whole. And me and George had a whole conversation that you do realize even the actual television studios have cameras everywhere. So if the police have to do something about their privacy and their cameras and the CCTVs and all this stuff, there's an entire law around it. There's like a whole bunch of stuff about the privacy law, just not because your ass is monetized. You can't sit there and say because, oh, I make 20 bucks a month, that person has to remove everybody out of their stuff. No, they're talking everything. So it's not been like, we'll see it when they enforce the whole situation of privacy law. On to the next thing. I noticed that the P's been getting a lot of plastic surgery. No, she's using editing software. Like it's got her all thinned out in the face. That is somebody editing her into, because in person she doesn't look like if you look at some of her recent videos where she's in them and it's not been fully edited out, when she does the green screen thing and the thumbnails, I notice, you can change everything now. You can make somebody look 40 pounds lighter, their skin.
Well, that technology existed.
It's been right
while we were still in the U.S.
Well, it's getting worse. Remember we said looks like she got surgery, and then we're like, no, that's all AI. That's all been changed and altered, because her actual self in the video when she's out on the street does not look like that, or when she was in the U.S. at the stores, it's not the same. But it's to be expected. She's got to keep up for the simps and everything. It's how she gets paid, and she knows it, and she's got another expat helping her. Good for her. It's how she gets paid. I'm glad that she could go from her previous video jobs to other things, and possible massage school onto other things. So good for her. Everybody's broke, right? Mike is in the house, our Philippine journey. I might have missed you further up. I just wanted to say hi to him real quick. Maybe he just said hi to Bruce. I missed that, because when we went down the sticker, so that's why nobody's going there anymore. I'm assuming you're talking about the Philippines. There's been a drop in tourism. They said that like 70% of the Chinese and tourists are dropping out of Thailand too. It could just be that everybody's afraid to travel and come back into the country. You realize how many people hold a green card that leave the country and then come back into the US or Canada or whatever, and with everything going on, I don't blame people. I wouldn't want to take my fiance or people back to the US right now, or vice versa. I can't take George back. They may think he's somebody's gardener or something. And then I might lose him, and then I might have to have a party and get me a Chinese boyfriend or something, or
right.
What? George is not awake. You can shout him out, babe. Oh, did you? Okay. Said he met the Filipina P in San Francisco last year. They say she's a very nice person. So.
Who did? Working on it.
Yeah, working on it, yeah. I bet there's a lot of people that met the P. I mean, she's all, all up in Dumaguete and stuff. She's met with a lot of vloggers. She's been seen. It's not uncommon. The Dumaguete area is not that big when she's there. My anniversary. Ah, okay. Bruce was just saying in 3 months and 2 days. Wow, it's almost been a year. Just seemed like yesterday we were with them when they did the proposal thing. Golly. right? Going gangsta in a third world country. There you are. Third world country. This I got to see, right? I mean, I'm either going to lay down and sit there and cry and suck on a coconut or somebody else's coconut on Walking Street, or I'm going to get busy. But I don't know. I just sit around and drink beer. I mean, that woman literally is, you know, which, hey, in the video, it appears that she's elixiated or elixirated or ferreticated to the ferretication of the liquorated of the tandoi fenandoi. Look, babe. See how she holds her? She's holding the baby.
Oh.
We're looking at Pigsy. She's laying down. It's her afternoon nap. She tends to hold her like a baby. Aw, baby girl's being, she pets her and she cuddles and puts her hand over the kittens are all snuggling on over there. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Expat is probably talking about me saying something because it's true. You worry about you. I mean, we could say 100 things about things that he's not doing or other channels aren't doing. Let it be known when it's enforced, it's enforced. When it happens, it happens. George taught me that a long time ago. When somebody's knocking on my door, then we'll worry about it. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, that's not how it works. That's not.
Well, what I'm saying is all things.
You're making babe, the way you're saying that's not how it. What I'm saying is that just doesn't sound right either.
I'm talking about all things. I'm just not talking about the enforcement. I'm talking about everything. Like people saying immigration's coming after me or Social Security is going to come over here and do something. It's like when they come, they come.
These are not new rules.
2012.
And they're not.
And they have to enforce it
the
on
rules
everybody.
Have been there. They exist. And again, the pot calling the kettle black. It's like, I'm pretty sure, I don't care what country you're from. I really don't care what tax treaty you're going to throw at me. That's not how it works in the Philippines.
No.
How do I know? Because the Philippine government actually gave me a piece of paper on when you should pay tax to the Philippines. The moment you should pay tax to the Philippines is, you know when?
When you record in here and get paid and work here.
To be more specific, once you get that card, once you get your ACR card,
that's 60, 90 days.
And you do some form of job here, that's when you're required to pay your taxes here, literally. Because the moment you turn into a resident, which an ACR card, well, I wonder what the R stands for, resident, okay? That's when you start paying your taxes here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
the tax treaty again. Don't argue with me with that again.
If they were recording in their country and doing all those things and producing it off here, that would be one thing. It doesn't matter if he's sitting in front of a camera or another person is sitting in front of a camera at home, but you're still working here is all that matters. And your computer is working here. You're working here. And
to make things worse is
go talk to a tax attorney. Your
visa does not cover you working here, aka YouTube included. Why do you think they're coming up with a nomad visa? So YouTubers can work here. Again, the thing is I've said this before in our previous lives, is do not argue me about facts. Do not argue with me, don't tell me your truths, because there's only one truth. There is no version of your truth. There is no version. There's a version of your experience. Yeah. But there's no these are immutables.
The closest thing I heard is somebody said in America, they don't have to, if it's under 100,000 based on their income and this, they're allowed to file everything back in the US. And other countries are the same, but them still don't apply here. You're to be registered as a business. That's minimal. Forget about the tax thing. You're to be registered. If you're getting an income and you're putting videos out, you need to be registered as an independent contractor. That was as of 2021.
Yeah. Now, a caveat to what I just said.
Which means the pot calling somebody a kettle and a
The
kettle and a
caveat
pot.
to what I said,
throw it.
again, for those of you who want to argue with me, I'm not saying you will pay your taxes, but you do have to file, because in all probability, you're not going to pay anything. Kind of like me and Heidi, we're not paying taxes.
Brian's in the house.
We are filing taxes, but we're not paying them because we don't make it. We don't make enough.
Make like $4,000 a year, so we don't even meet the
We
guideline.
don't
But he's
qualify.
registered. We file taxes in the Philippines, but we don't owe
Right.
any taxes.
We don't, right, exactly.
If you guys have Social Security and if you guys have YouTube money and then you're making money, let's say you're selling on Lazada and your Philippine is doing it and you're filing together. You file your Social Security if it's enough. Back in the US, you're supposed to do that, but you still have to file your other stuff here. This is a country that you have to do both. This isn't a mix in one, and they do have a treaty and there's certain ways of filing and everything else. Brian says you can't. A few good men. Do you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Everybody will have their own. They need to check with the tax attorney. They need to find out about registering. There can only be one owner to a channel. That doesn't mean 3 people register on the same channel, but you do have to be set up as a business. We know when they enforce that shit, Mr. Britt, then I will go through and worry about the other shit. They don't even go through and do any of that. Some get caught that have bigger channels and other things happen, other businesses, but they don't even enforce the businesses. There's like 50, 60 people out on the street in a 3-block radius, and probably 3 out of 60 have a business license and paying taxes, and they can't even enforce that. And then you want to talk shit about that. Fight me, man. That's something I haven't had to say in a while. It doesn't even make any sense. Also looks like Patriot Life was mentioning, I don't know, I probably won't be able to find out to go back. And I don't know if you're talking about somebody else or this was just added, and you are fear mongering yourself to trash your own birth-born country. That I'm fear mongering and then trashing my own country. My country needs to pull its shit together, period. That's just where it is. It's totally falling apart. Yeah. You don't think Filipinos leave here and don't come and talk about crap about their country here? Canadians don't leave their country, come here and talk about their country, or vice versa? Yeah, there's no fear mongering. The country is going to shit in a handbag, period. It doesn't matter. The media is disrespecting the president. The president's disrespecting the media. People are using social media to do nothing but gossip, tear things down. It's all over the place. It's just where it is. It's just getting out of hand. Like I keep seeing these vloggers that are covering all this stuff. They do like 4 videos a day, just covering stupid stuff on the president or stupid stuff on other people. And it's like, yeah, just fear mongering. Robert Downey Jr.
Oh no. That's a lot earlier. No, when I asked who that actor is, I wasn't talking about Robert Downey. I was talking about it was Will Ferrell on Talladega Nights. Will Ferrell, and then his partner who took Will Ferrell's wife, and they prayed over that KFC chicken. The guy with the curly hair and the mustache. I keep forgetting his name. Yeah.
No, that is true. That's another thing. There are cannabis stores on every corner in America now. Some of it's out of control. The drugs are out of control in the U.S. The politics are out of control. Yes, at some point I would say that the immigrant situation was out of control. It's usually the bad ones, the gangs, the violence. Sorry. I mean, it doesn't take social media to know we live there. A lot of people, oh, well, you only seen it on social media and you ain't been home and this and no, it's still a bad situation. Our children still live there. Our family still reports back. It doesn't take a blind man to even watch social media and let other people tell you what you're seeing. If you see ICE kicking the crap out of an immigrant on the ground, there's nothing more to say about that. It was wrong, right? I mean, there's nothing to add to it. Oh, well, the guy talked back, or the guy punched the guy in the face 10 minutes before. They're ICE, and they're supposed to be a little bit more professional. There shouldn't have been any reason to be drop kicking the guy up against the car.
No, there's no reason.
I don't care what the backstory is.
And if you approach
he's
a
an older
person
dude.
aggressively, they, of course they're going to be fearful, especially since, they came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot. So I don't regret. You can ask George, bite me. I don't regret a whole lot about what I say. Only a few times. Only a few times. And I've apologized to those people. Besides that, if you don't hear me send you an email, bite me again.
Now here's the problem I have with ICE. I'm going to be honest with you. Again, I'm not
A bunch
anti.
of thugs.
I'm not anti-government.
They want
by
the
any
thugs are
means.
us.
And I'm just saying the approach. The problem I have with ICE agents is, one, most of them are or were aliens themselves. They're not. Most of them are not full-blooded Americans. Most of them are. Some of them are immigrants and everything. And
Yes. One generation. Like I said,
And-
two of the president's wives were
Right.
foreign and their parents came in. His parent and grandparents of Trump were foreigners. A lot of my family is foreigners. There's at least several foreigners in every family. It's how the country was
But
built and brought
they
around.
treat every alien that they come across like they're pieces of trash. And I'm not saying this
Farmers
because
and workers
I'm-
and restaurant
and again, I'm
workers,
not talking about-
housekeepers.
yeah, and I'm not talking about like now. I'm talking about even then they were like this. And it's weird. Like, what's wrong with you, man? It's like, what's your problem?
Mhm.
I've seen them mistreat like aliens, and you don't have to be like that. Whether they're illegal or not, you don't
Yeah.
have to treat them like that.
No.
And this is before this. I'm just letting you guys know. This is again, this is not nothing to do with social media or anything. This is me personally, from what I've seen firsthand, how they treat people. It's just, I don't know. That's one thing I never did understand. You know what I'm saying? And actually, I don't remember.
Oh, excuse me. British Expat says he's not monetized. Neither of his channels are. Well, that's good for you. Good for you that it's not. So then it doesn't apply to you. Then I'll take that back. That's what you say. Pretty sure at one point you said they were monetized according to MYK and other people. So maybe you lost those other channels and had to rebuild them. So if you're not monetized, then I guess that's okay, sir. So apply what we say to what actually belongs.
No. Just don't.
Brian said, with the new Philippine blogging law, does that count if the video is a blind man?
No, that's not what he said.
What?
British Expat says
many
that
channels.
many channels are not monetized.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. So that's why I have my glasses on. Good information, but your information is clearly misleading.
It's not misleading.
Many
It's not
channels
misleading.
are monetized.
You're muddying the waters. You're misleading now, because now you're saying many channels are not monetized. So wait.
That's not even what we're talking about. We weren't talking about non-monetized channel. We're talking about ones that are running as businesses and making money. So, okay. So then I misunderstood. So then I take that back. Yeah, I just won't address you anymore. You're just trying to make content, and all you do is cause my channel to grow. And I know you're in love with me. I'm in love with the stripper. Her name is Heidi. And you're madly in love, Mr. British Expat. Can't stop thinking about me because you're old and crusty and your lady won't put none up, and because blah, 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 blah. Just get over it, man.
Ted Jenkins says, ICE arrests are just like my other arrests.
Are you still around? Gosh, the Addams family, they're creepy and they're spooky. Yeah, what it is MYK's not around anymore for him to do content. So you and like 10 other channels are focused in our channel. When me and George get off here, we just laugh. It's like, love you guys too. You guys think we're sitting around watching you. We know because you attach us to it, or the thumbnails come up because of the names. But besides that, you're just a joke. You're a joke.
John says, if you're vlogging and catch a crime being committed, do you have to get the criminal's permission to post it?
Yeah, I mean, like, who's going to actually, we get it's a law because the statement was by somebody that said that's not respecting people if we still put their video
And
up or their
again,
content.
that's
It's
not
like,
how it works. This law is an old law. That's not how it works. But again, this
we're
is
just waiting for them to enforce.
again, I really don't really want to talk about this because one, it's really a moot point to talk about with people. That's like it's like
That's
talking to a
just
brick
moot.
wall.
Yeah,
you know what I
like
mean?
like an old
Yeah.
dirty seed. Yeah, it's kind of, you're just trying to get attention. That's all that is.
Second one says, I thought.
Well, yes, I
I'm
mean,
in
being
love
thin
with a
makes you
coconut.
healthier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, being thin makes you feel healthier. Yeah, of course. And for like me, it's going to be a side effect. It's like, hey, I can eat candy and I can do this and I can do that, but really I need to do it for 5 other health reasons. And so now poor George was eating homemade granola, nuts and seeds, and homemade yogurt this morning, right behind his Jollibee.
Okay, Bobby G says, I have a question. Obama deported over 1 million immigrants, and he built the cages to separate kids, and none of these people who use it against Trump had anything to say anything about Obama or Biden. Okay, well, first off, okay, I'm not going against you,
Well,
Bobby.
they're
I'm just saying.
current. Yeah, they're current.
First off, I don't think Biden did that. I know you put in Biden, then I'm just saying I don't think he did that. I'm saying, but did Obama do it? Yeah, sure. Now, remember what I said, that we don't have the full picture. The thing is, again, is as far as Obama's concerned, you know, squeaky wheel gets the grease. What I'm saying is, during Obama's time, there was no squeaky wheel, so there was nobody squealing, there's nobody crying, there's no uproar, and now there is. So during his time, did Obama deport immigrants? Yes. Was there an outcry for, you know, justice, equality, whatever? No. And that kind of, again, in my opinion, that makes it sound like everything was on the up and up because nobody said anything.
Well, that, or I notice people, and it's nothing against him, we're also, and the world, are talking about what's been going on the last 6 months. I get Biden is led up by, you know, every time Trump and his people go up there, they're always mentioning Biden did all this stuff, Biden did all this, and he mentioned the last 2 presidents. And yes, there were things that they definitely have done wrong. Kind of makes your skin crawl. So it's not just Republican or just Democrat. To me,
Well,
it's
no,
just bad decisions of the people themselves.
That's the thing. Politics has nothing to do with it. It's whatever is being done. It's
Yeah,
the
by each
question.
individual party. So yes, there were a lot of things that went wrong with actually every president. And I don't want to go deeper into a subject because I just seen, they were just discussing politics, and a bunch of videos have been coming up in the feed about the spacewalk in 1969. That it's still saying that it's fake, because they said, what the hell? There wasn't even air conditioners in cars. They could barely whatever. And a guy just recently passed away. It was on social media that said he was there when they put together the hangar that faked that. And the way they took off from the moon and all that, there was no way they had that technology. So it was all done just to spoof the people. There's no way that there could have been the technology that they had and the way that it happened. Watch the walk, watch all the things, watch them get in there. And I rewatched it again. And those are things that did not exist under any circumstance back then. And a guy just passed away of cancer that said he definitely that was involved in putting together the hangar that had all of it. So point is, you know, there's so much going on. There's so much going on with the government. There's so many going on, how they gaslight people. They're gaslighting people now. And whether it's Republican or Democrats, they've all sold things. All these presidents have made money. They continue to make money. You know, the Bitcoins, the cell phones, and all of this. And because it's talked about doesn't make him a bad person. He's a good businessman. And war is business. And then who's hurting in between? The people. The people in the Middle East, the people in America, the starving kids over in Gaza. It's just getting crazier by the moment. And it's just not, you know, bottom line is people just I don't get how so many people of all walks and races just don't see it. It's they would rather it's what do they say about it's easier to follow than to use your own mind? Kind of like they're saying, like on this Labubu thing, people just get onto the trend or they get onto what's going on. It's like, yeah, that's a good thing. Let's just go with it. And it's like, are these people blind? And then it's like, but you can't. Everybody has the right, like George said. George is very understanding. At some point, he'll say, you have the right to be upset about it. And I understand you. But even if it's wrong or right, you have to understand. And then he tells me about it. And it's just kind of in the same situation that there's a lot going on. And this is some big reasons we came here is finances. And what's going on in the Middle East, what's going on in America is just not going to end overnight. It's not. That's going to end up in some full situation. And it's just, I don't know, just wish the best. And I'm just glad that we're here. I still feel that God and Jesus and everything else brought us here. And I'm just going to go with that situation. I'm going to be waiting for Jesus's supper with birdseed and over chicken and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't forget to show us sign support again. Gives us a thumbs up, guys.
I'll send
Scan
you a
that
kiss.
barcode. Send us some moolah.
I'll send you
Give
a
us
kiss.
1 Bitcoin. Also again to show your sign support on your deathbed. Do your final confession. Tell your spouse that.
I'm gonna get that out of you anyways
Just
and put
tell
it
him,
on YouTube.
babe. Just so you know, right? I just wanted you to know right before I passed away that the neighbor's kid is mine. And
Good.
And then croak.
And you know what? When I become homeless, I'm gonna tie your kid to my feet to fan me down. That way I don't have to get me a monkey to do it.
I can say me. I'm just saying.
You're saying it's your kid, that the kid is.
I know. They
Oh, you're.
tell their kids that the neighbor's kid is his or hers, and then
One crueler. Just tell them they're adopted. Just really blow their minds.
oh no, the other one's better because that's massive. That's like a chain reaction right there.
I don't know. I think the
Oh no,
being adopted.
no, being adopted
Although,
is just like the end. It ends with them. You want a chain reaction.
oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're gonna go to the neighbor's house and bang on that door. Yeah, and then they'll keep on going. But anyway,
I say you just empty your spouse's what money's in their bank account, get their ATM card out of their car when they're sleeping in the middle of the night, and drain it, and then just hold it in the house and let them think that somebody scammed their money up out of there, and stay silent for a week and let them think about the bills.
now
How do you like them apples?
right. The reason why I brought that up, just so you guys know again, and now I get the tinfoil hat thing, and I get the conspiracy theory, the moon landing conspiracy. The issue I have with
We
with
won't
that
cover no more of
confession.
Derek. He's a nut.
Now, the issue I have with the non-moon landing deathbed confession is deathbed confessions are not reliable information, regardless of which side you're on. The reason why they're not reliable is because there's no accountability.
Okay, so
And most deathbed confessions are not true. I'm not saying what he said isn't true.
So then
and I'm
do
not
you
saying
think
it is
it's
true.
real? Do you think that they landed on the moon, they walked around the moon the way they did, they hopped back on and just floated right up off of the actual moon in 1969?
I'm not going to say anything. That's too controversial. Way too controversial.
But there are a lot of red flags.
It's way too controversial.
I mean, I've watched that video. It looks like
I'm
something
well
from Star
aware
Trek.
I'm well aware of everything.
They barely had black and white TVs that were even functioning, no ACs in cars. They were still running on carburetors.
Well, that's something.
And Elon Musk can't even hold his spaceships together right now.
I don't know who
Teslas are held together
I don't
with
know
glue.
who came up with the AC in cars and
I
whatever. Well, that's not a valid argument, though.
So the technology the government had then was way more than Ford had.
Again, okay. The reason why I said no. There's a difference between, okay, remember when I said, okay,
Let's take a vote in here. You guys say it's real or not
right.
real?
Well, what I'm saying is you can't just argue with,
Did U.S. have the first men on the moon?
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you can't argue with what everybody has their hold on their technology on their end versus the government. Those are two different spectrums. Kind of like AI. AI existed since the late 90s. Well, actually, in fact, AI already existed in the 60s. Actually, Eliza, I had my first taste with Eliza AI when I was a little kid. But point being is, I mean, I get it. It's not the same as now. But what I'm saying is, no. I mean, kind of like the software that Filipino P is using. That software existed while we were in the U.S.
Well,
and I used it and I showed it to you.
when you put the whole situation to what they showed,
But
did they
I
make it
know
to the
that,
moon?
but
I
what I'm
get
saying
the
is
technology is different and that they had way more. I get it. It's been
I'm
around.
aware of-
They've had robots forever too situation. But anyways, we'll just let us know. Patriot Life, they've been talking about food in here, fast food and all. They says go to McDonald's, order the double quarter pounder with cheese, the lettuce and onions, and Big Mac with no ketchup and mustard. Yeah, the actual patties are still death in itself. There's so many things inside of the meat. It's not even, they say it is, but if you go and look at the ingredients, they're not. And they still do have an oil in there. But it is better than eating it with the bun and doing all those things, fast food. And I'm guilty of it my entire life. No matter how many times I said I wouldn't. And my daughter, we've discussed this the other day. It's hard. It is not easy, but it's best to avoid it.
What I found out about Burger King in the Philippines is it's Jollibee. Jollibee owns Burger King in the Philippines.
Hey, yeah, there's a lot of them that do.
Yeah.
Hi from Queens, New York. I like your video you put going around town. I was wondering, did you get a car or you rent one? No, George's family got us / him a car for Christmas, not this past one, but the one before. So it's almost been 2 years. So yeah, George's family is very nice and generous. Above average. They've helped us every time. We've used them several times. So been blessed. You know, George does a lot for me as an expat. His family does a lot. Very grateful for it. Always have been. And I love his mom and dad back in the US and everything. But no, and we've considered it like for our birthday, because if we go long distance, the AC's out on the car. So it does need a repair. Yeah, we also have the e-trike we've had for about 2.5 years. So about 6 months after we got the trike or something, we did. So you can read them out. I'm just going through the top ones. Yes, but legal. My friends in no other country has open borders, 90% deportees. No, but here's the thing. Yes and no. They're crossing into Canada. You know what I seen the other day, whether I know or researched it's true. Let's see if it's true. They said that Russia is floating their people over into Britain. They're sending their foreigners over on boats and different things. The UK is just flooded. So somewhat there are people still floating in. They're floating in the back doors here. Do you realize how many foreigners come in on a boat? They just picked up on another foreigner from one of those areas over there. That he came in on a boat from another Asian country. They have boats coming here all the time. I think it's crazy. But open borders, I don't know. Was that really even considered open, or they just let them in once they got there? Didn't a lot of them just jump the fence and cut holes in the fence versus approach it? There's a lot of weird stuff. But yes, it's kind of all messed up in general. Those 4-year visas, TNT Filipinos don't have to worry if you're in the U.S. over 10 years and not going towards citizenship. Yeah, there's a lot of people. The problem is Trump is pushing for authoritarianism in the U.S. His push for ICE to act without due process is part of the playbook. I'm not sure democracy will survive with Trump. That's just it. I think there are a lot of things that he's not going through and doing correctly. Like maybe Iran needed what they did, but they should have included a bunch of people just because he doesn't like them, or just because they say that they're left wing. He's always referring to them. He still should have included a lot of people. So he is running a different type of government. And I just think about my grandparents. I always go back to people that were born in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s that is seeing all this. It just blows people's minds. And yes, stuff that needed to be done, but it's just going south right now. And it's a scary time. It really is. And it's just not me, and it's just not the left wings or the right wing people or whatever. The whole world is on edge because of it. It's kind of out there. Yeah, I'm just going to go through.
Yeah, no, I'm just reading. There's a lot of stuff interesting going on in the chat.
Well, go ahead and shout them out. I have some information regarding immigration. This is a joint agency now including FBI. All deck on hands, 3,000 apprehensions expected daily for 7 days a week. Well, yeah, they are increasing. But here's the thing. I thought initially it was only meant to be those that had criminal records, and this, they're not. They're attacking people in Walmart parking lots, the doctor's appointments, Italian restaurants. They're going in. Now it just seems like we're falling back to some sort of craziness. But here's the thing. I know that he also gave people a chance to come get a plane ticket, to go and, do the right thing. So, I mean, I got to give some credit where some credit's due. He did say all foreigners, all good, bad, whatever, come and turn yourself in if you don't have the proper papers or nothing's right. But see, there are people being hurt in between, like people who have green cards that are actually U.S. citizens. And my concern is for George's family. My family has some foreigners in it, like, they're married to them, or it's scary. It's scary to think that anybody that looks like George can actually be attacked.
Anyway, that is so racist, I guess. There's a lot of
Probably
foreigners
not
that
as
don't
racist
look
as
like
somebody
me.
walking up and just asking me for money.
I'm
You just
saying
look
there's
rich. Give me some money.
There's a lot of foreigners that don't look like me over there.
Whole
Just
point
saying.
is they just look Mexican, Spanish,
that
Asian, and
makes it
just
even-
brown.
Anyway.
Whatever.
We'll just leave
Foreign,
it.
I call you foreign brown, FB. The new FB.
Okay.
Hide, because FB is on the run. Yeah, have a drink there, George. Yeah, I don't care. I'm Filipino now. It depends on what news you watch. If they only show the worst, yeah, that's what you'll see. There are many bad people in the United States, and the fact's sad but true. Yeah. And that goes for what people, I know the administration during their speech, and Hegsworth, or whatever his name is, Mr. Hegg or whatever, he is right. A lot of people, when they're doing social media, reports the bad. And then what I just realized, and I didn't know he was a Fox News reporter forever. So he spent all those years reporting on the craziest stuff and the depressing stuff. And now he's calling his own people that are reporters that he's been downing them, and the president has. The whole point is it's always been like that. Bad news sells. All stuff that is drama sells. If I sit here and sit there and break down this privacy law for y'all, we'll probably had about 20, 30 people in the room, and it's just silly. If they're not going to enforce it like they don't the traffic, I'll worry about it when they enforce traffic. You know what I mean? But bad news sells. They are going to put the worst out. President was like, why didn't you guys show the whole act and how good it was and praise the people? And then Fox was like, we did. It's kind of like, yeah, they did, but they're going to keep reporting, and they're just like heckling back and forth. But yeah, I mean, it's where it is that there are, and on top of that, there are a lot of, but there's good and bad. There's a lot of good things about the U.S. Remember when we discussed about people, with the rose-colored glasses, all these Filipinas leaving here and going to America and they go and get these jobs, and then they realize, like that woman that moved out into the country, and she was a school teacher, and she was out there, and then she realized how hard it would be to be isolated as a Filipino with none of her own people, and that you go through that. Like here, you know, foreigners want to hang out with foreigners. I would like to see more women, American women. And I was telling George, you know, when you got to America, you didn't miss being around other Filipinos or other Asians or people that look like you. Or because I think Calvin even mentioned that recently. You kind of gets kind of, you know, Calvin was used to being around his family and hanging out with his friends and stuff. You do. But you didn't at all. Yeah, you're different. I'm sure a lot of Germans want to go to Germantown and be with some of their people. And now I said that it does bother me every now and then, but it's like at first when I got here, I was like, I didn't come here to hang out with expats. And that is actually true. I don't want to sit, most of them are guys, and that's not what we actually came here for. But on the other hand, it does hit you every now and then that, you do want to sometimes hang out with people, other Americans. And I don't know as much about the British and Germans and all that, but I think the British people go to the British pubs here and they go and hang out at the stores, pick up food. There's restaurants here, all the different stuff.
Yeah.
They want to be among their own kind.
Now, this one I want to address only
I'll let you
because.
take care of it.
No, it's okay.
Well, go ahead and take it. I'm done. I've been slowing down and talking here. Go ahead.
Now, this one I want to address. The only reason why this is my issue is, again, guys, touch grass. For God's sake, touch grass. Now, the reason why I said that before I read it, Steve Lopez. Okay, first off, I'm not sure who you are, what nationality you are, what country you're in, what country you're from. Touch freaking grass, man. Now, the reason why I said that is because your comment says, come on, ICE have only started a few months ago. So you mean to tell me an entire department of the U.S. government that have existed for decades have only started a few months ago? What kind of argument is that? So you're telling me because I made a statement that some of these ICE agents mistreat other aliens? You really think that
They weren't like that before.
Well, they were. That's what I'm saying.
Well, not kicking people.
No, I know that. But he's saying they just started a few months ago. No, they've always been here. They not here, there. They've always existed.
Yeah. Well, maybe he actually meant getting rid of the current bad people that cross the border. It could be what he meant.
No.
Yeah. But they literally just didn't start.
No, they didn't just start a few months ago. They've been doing it.
Yeah.
We just haven't heard about it.
Ted said Filipinos used to be the most spread out culture in America. Yeah. No, Victoria, I don't think we froze. I don't see that we actually did. So
Hold on. Let's you can always go back.
oh, she said it must be your internet connection.
All right.
X Pizzazz said George is handsome. Yes, he is.
So second one says he says the moon landing is real. Expats says it's real. Ted.
Yeah, what do you think, Ted?
Ted is not clear with his answer, but from reading from this, according to him, I guess it's not. The reason why is because he says we just had calculators, we didn't have computers, and we flew to the moon. Now, the reason why he says this.
Well, there were the oversized ones back in 1969, correct?
Now,
the gigantic super ones.
They have mainframes, yes, and they have the punch cards and whatever. Now, I believe what Ted is saying, you can't fit those in the LEM, in the ship.
They probably, but here's the thing,
But
Could have
In,
been space travel. They could have brought back something from now.
in all
time
fairness,
travel.
well, I'm just saying. In all fairness, they don't have to, because the computers are here they're in Houston. Now, the reason why this is very important is if you're just 1 degree off when you're flying that ship and you're only 1 degree off, you're done, because you're going to miss the moon and you're going to be traveling in space forever because there's no breaks. You know what I'm saying?
I know there's been a lot of people that wrote books that said it's not real.
That's
and they
what
break
Ted
it
is saying. I'm
down.
just explaining what Ted is trying to say here. It's
Well, here's the thing. Look what's going on with the government now. You still believe it after everything that's going on the last 20 years with the government, that the original government back in '69 was just not fluffing things to gain. I don't know. I thought the government was on, honestly, till George, when he got into talking about things and we got into deep conversations, I didn't realize how deep the government goes.
Now here's the thing.
So now I'm expected to believe in that spacewalk was real and it wasn't to control another narrative back then.
Well, there's a lot of things but anyway, I really don't really want
it
to
goes
get into
deep. Yeah,
First off,
different.
this is not what this challenge is. I always say this. It's really not.
It's just a
what our
conversation.
about.
We tend to get into conversation.
Okay, Expat says, of course, it's real. Technology was there. King B says, definitely not real. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know. The gas prices haven't been lower than most people's IRA for, and it's still down. The stuff he did in April. Yeah.
Where did John say the gas are going down?
He just says he's tripping, and then said the gas prices haven't been lower.
Gas is cheaper, and my IRA is over 15%.
Yeah, the gas.
Thank you.
Well, and that's another thing. He just announced that the prices of gas have dropped by 20%. He keeps saying things on air, and then everybody else in different states say no, it hasn't. It's like some of the things he says, all the news stations now, including Fox, go against what he says. Then it makes you wonder. It just makes you wonder. You know, just like the left hand isn't scratching the right hand's nut or something, or the nuts aren't being scratched by anybody's hand but somebody 3 doors down. It's kind of getting weird. His own inside people are saying something happens, and then 2 days later he'll come through and somebody in the government will come through and say, yeah, that wasn't them. That's not, they're lying. He's calling out his own. It's just, there's a lot going on, and it's like I've never seen anything like it. And the one thing that everybody should be on an agreement, there's something really strange going on. It doesn't matter if it's Trump. It doesn't matter if it's something else going on. It's weird how there's so many different facts and unfacts, and then you're seeing things with your eyes and you're like, both sides are lying. And the first time in history I've ever seen anything like this. No, I don't want to go, I'm going too far into politics, including those trucks in Iran, and saying that it's still in there when it happened, when there were satellite photos of the trucks. Did they AI those photos?
Well,
There's just too much going on, guys. And it's on everybody's mind.
Photos, I mean, it's common sense, really, to know that they're going to move them.
Yeah, he told them in advance, so of course. So yeah, that's what I would be doing.
Yeah, and even if
and then he said they didn't, that it was all there. So either way, guys, we've said this before about getting too far and answering comments.
Even in Iraq, when that happened, even Saddam moved his stuff around, you know.
Yeah,
anyway.
Tesla accounted for 44% of the electric cars in the market in 2025, and now he's pulled the plug on a lot of that. Mostly, a lot of them were in California. Then he pulled the rebate thing, and then parts that are coming in from other countries, and the tariffs. You know, the one thing that I believe all the way around, this is all to deflect on something else. When this big bill goes through, you guys read through that 1,000-page situation. It's not pretty. And I think the deflection of what's going on is to deflect on helping more with other things, gaining money in another way, and all the previous things that got stirred up here, like the import prices. Them tariffs are still in place at a hefty amount. By Christmas, you guys are screwed. Just wait until your Christmas items that you're buying are costing you guys $10 more for. It's just going to be insane, George. It just hasn't affected people. So now nobody cares about the tariffs because of the stuff going on in Iran. Everybody's focused on what just Pete and the president said, and now it's the forget about the birthright citizenship situation. No, there's just too much going on. That's why I'm not in America. I.
Right. Expat Pizzazz says in 1960 computers had the same computing power as an electronic watch. Ted says all the film got taped over, right?
There was a bunch of weird stuff. There was just too many. And then I'm not the brightest candle on the cake. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Now,
I've got a different perspective and stuff I never paid attention to. But I know one thing, that there's something really off on that situation.
Ted is saying, Ted says some interesting stuff. And why I say interesting, because he doesn't say things outright. What Ted is talking about, for those of you who are trying to figure out what tape he's talking about.
They said Buzz Aldrin right here. Somebody said that Buzz Aldrin himself made the statement. It did not happen.
Right. Well, like I said, the problem is there's something called like a Van Allen belt, and once you pass that, you get bombarded with these intense radiation.
I didn't get past my mom's belt.
Now, again, I'm just okay. I'm not going pro or anti, but because this is really controversial, even though I have my own thing. But anyway, my point being is, even to this day, scientists don't know how to get past the Van Allen belt without getting fried. It doesn't matter. You can't. Some of you are like, oh, well, just line it up with lead. Well, yeah, that's no problem if we had infinite energy to propel the rocket. We don't. We don't have infinite energy. We can't put that much lead on a ship. It's impossible. It's not going to fly. Okay, so that being said, to get to the moon, you have to get past this radiation belt.
Right.
Okay. All right. So, how did they get past it? When questioned, the scientists' answer on how they got past it is
saran wrap and aluminum foil.
Well,
and
we
Vaseline.
Lost the technology on how to get past it. I'm just letting you know the official stances. That's all I'm doing.
So how did they lose the technology? They had it and it disappeared?
Again, I'm just letting you know what they say. Okay.
What kind of statement?
Don't ask me. I'm just telling you what they said. Sperlin Edwards says, and don't forget about the president spoke with them on the moon through a line, a phone
That's
line.
right. So how the hell? They couldn't even keep the last space program together up there, and they had to use Elon's stuff to bring him back. And they did make a phone call. Then mysteriously after that, they returned home a few days later. It just, there's no way. This is the president. Yeah, how you doing? How the hell did they talk to somebody up there?
Well, that's not that difficult.
How?
It's really not that difficult. But I wasn't there, so I really can't answer it.
So I take it E.T. was there, right? So E.T. phoned back with his ears and fingers and did all this stuff.
And remember what they show on TV is probably not how it happened. When it comes to communication, usually they transmit, lag, and then respond. Then lag, then they hear it. But what they show on TV, it's like it's instantaneous. It's not. That's not how it is.
Right. So
what I'm saying is, again,
edited it before they released the video.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I wasn't there.
But you would have to say there are some odd situations.
What I've seen is on TV, which is probably edited.
Okay, so.
Well, it's not probably. It's guaranteed edited because there's no way.
Do you believe that it happened?
I'm not going to answer that. Heidi, I'm not going to tell the world on what I think. Trust me. One, this is I'm not about to start a conspiracy channel. Okay. Um, I do have a lot of beliefs and they're grounded on facts, but I'm not about to let them all out of the bag, if that makes any sense. Because one, again, that's not what our channel's about. Two,
There's a lot of things our channel isn't about,
even
but
the
that's
most.
okay. Then don't answer it. I didn't
Okay,
need
okay.
it to
Put
be
it this
that
way. Put it this
difficult.
way. Put it
Our
this way.
channel has been open. The whole thing
I
about
get it.
expats
I
and
get
leaving
it. But
here.
but you're talking about me. What I'm saying is, forget conspiracies. Get your conspiracy bag. Throw it out. Even basic stuff. If I tell you the stuff that's actually has nothing to do with conspiracies, and I explain things, I sound like a nutbag.
Okay.
Because guess what?
They know I'm a nutbag, so I'm just
What
letting
I'm
you know.
saying is I'm grounded in facts. Even if
Okay, so
if you and I talk, I say stuff that don't make sense to the normal person because it does not make sense.
well, that's true.
And then I have to explain things, and then I sound like a nutbag, even though it's not a conspiracy, even though they're facts.
Okay,
And that's
get it.
why
So it's better not.
well, I'm explaining to people. I'm not a shallow guy. Trust me, you want to sit down and talk science, I'm the guy to talk to. But guess what? You
I
better
don't
be ready
mind.
because
No,
trust
he's
me,
right. It drives me nuts. I told you guys that
I'll
he
sound
is
like a
fact person.
nutbag, and if you can't keep up with me, I'm sorry. You know what
Okay,
I'm
so
saying?
I'm just crazy. I'm just like, hey. Okay, so we'll try to move on.
Anyway.
I didn't know that it was. We're filling a couple hours worth of live stream.
Well,
this
it's
is
not
why
that.
we
Again,
do it.
even it has
And
nothing to do
when
with
I try to do
conspiracies.
just a topic, it never works that way. So I used to get upset, and then I'm like, okay, we'll just freely talk about it. Just this live stream is just a discussion. It's entertainment. If you learn something, if it helps, if you know, that's just where it is, guys. No, I get it. Okay, I was just trying to get you to answer
I know.
one more time through.
Just an example. Some of you, like, all right, me and Heidi, the last live we were just talking. Here's an example. Just an example. After the live, me and Heidi were talking, and then we watched a little bit of YouTube, and then we watched the Middle East, what's going on,
Yeah,
and then I laugh like these effers, they don't even know what Semitic is, and most people don't. Go Google what Semitic means, and guess what? Hate to break it to you, they're all Semitic. And again, this has nothing to do with conspiracy.
Like truly calling the kettle black situation.
Yeah.
Kind of like, yeah.
The Jews are, they're anti-Semitic. How can they be anti-Semitic if they're Semitic themselves? Point being is I'm not your typical guy, but anyway.
All right. So Marion said further down, I'm German and in the U.S. for 40 years. I go back a lot. I still miss it. Yeah, you still want to be around your people. I hate to say it. If you're Asian, it could be a problem. You don't see a lot of Asians. It's kind of like black people that aren't seeing a lot of black people that are, I'm sorry. If you take it racist, that's on you guys. What I'm saying is people do tend to flock in their crowds. They're still in their own. Is that still called racism when they want to be with people of, female type and their color and their ethnicity, or if they're Germany? So that I don't give a crap if it's racist. Stick it up your ass on that shit.
It's called reverse racism.
Okay, I'm tired of all these labels. It is what it is, and so many people now are professional psychiatrists online and all of this crap. I believe in George Carlin highly. It just people just need to be people or whatever. But the whole point is people do crave their own thing. And Filipinos, when they're working as OFWs in their foreign countries, they all tend to hang out in a park together and hang out. They want to be around their own people. So if I do, then I'm a racist, or I want to be. It's depressing to some people. I believe that was Calvin's whole thing, why he's going to spend part of the year now back in America. He just has to do it. It is not easy living in a foreign country as what people think it is. And all these different things happen to him. Like this woman, that's the whole topic today. Somebody says she chooses to be homeless as a style. Yeah, she probably enjoys it, probably way cheaper, even to just sleep on the street. She's evidently something. She could up and go at any time. And now people have been trying to help her. You don't think since she's been out there that people haven't tried to help her, they do. As a matter of fact, foreigners will get the attention first. I guarantee if I went homeless here, there'd probably be somebody trying to put me on a plane in a half hour. Well, I don't know about half hour, I'm exaggerating, but you guys get the point that if all of a sudden I'm homeless and out there, there'll probably be all kinds of foreigners and Filipinos trying to help me, take me to the barangay. Barangay is going to keep me somewhere. Something's going to happen. I can almost, I mean, what do you think the likelihood of that, of me being up on MacArthur and just sitting there for 3 days at a time? If I went homeless tomorrow, we broke up, you scam me for my sunflower seeds and stuff, and I end up homeless on MacArthur, how long before you think they'll gather plane money and come and help me as expats around town, or foreign or
Never.
Filipinos?
What are you talking about?
Never.
No,
Okay.
they're not going to gather up plane money for you.
You don't think these other expats that have been here, I've seen them on social media. People approach and give them food and try to arrange things with them, and then the vloggers get involved and gather money. You don't think that a lot of these ones that we've been talking about, although we say they don't want to be helped or they're on there, there are people trying to help them.
Okay. Well, will they help
A lot
you?
of help.
Yes, but not enough to get you off.
That didn't sound right.
I know, I'm aware of what I said, yes.
I didn't say instantly. I said including expats. How many times have we talked to these ones that were homeless and we got people contacted us saying we're going to get a ticket for them back?
Here's the problem. You asked me, not your opinion.
Okay.
I already said my answer.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
What do you mean? You asked me a question. I answered it already.
Okay. Then move on, George. You made that very clear. Okay. I understand. So your opinion is no. So, okay. So you have
Will
your
they
right
help
to your
you?
opinion.
Yes. But will it be enough to get you off? No.
Okay. And you have your right to your opinion, like you would say to
I
me.
already said that. That's my opinion. You did ask my opinion.
Okay.
It's not probably what you wanted to hear.
It has nothing to do with what I want to hear, is what I actually know.
Okay. Then again, that's your opinion.
Okay. That's good.
Okay. Anyway, Sperling Edward says, and don't forget.
Jiminy Christ.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah.
You don't want me doing that to you on air and then you go and make it very clear. You can state what you want and I can state what I want.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but then you shouldn't have asked me that question. I don't do that to you. I don't ask you a question and then.
I guess I was trying to get you to answer. So then the original question you want to answer, the answer is no. The expats will not help me if I'm up there for a week on MacArthur Highway.
They'll help you, but it's probably not enough. I already said that. How many times do I have to repeat my answer?
Okay. I heard you the first time.
Apparently not, because I keep repeating it. I mean, it's probably not enough to get. I mean, maybe they will. Maybe they won't.
Okay. All right. So the point that I'm trying to make, George has the right to his own opinion. The ones that I've seen that are homeless, the ones that are covered by Carrie and us, these people have been offered to go home. Money provided, other expats being generous, Filipinos being generous. So that's all I'm trying to say. So, but it's no guarantee either. So
yeah.
The moon landing is real and nothing compared to knowing about the attack on Pearl Harbor and 9/11 before it happened.
Right. These are the conspiracy theories. It's you know, that we knew about Pearl Harbor, but they didn't say anything. Same thing with 9/11. For those of you who are wondering what that conspiracy theory is. King B says Stanley Kubrick directed the moon landing. Now, for those of you who don't know who Stanley Kubrick is, Stanley Kubrick is the one that made
The
2001,
Shining.
The Odyssey. Well, that's the one that I brought up because that's where he filmed space and space exploration, and that's why he got allegedly contacted and contracted by the government to create the film that we landed on the moon. What are you doing, Dave? What are you doing? Expat Pizzazz says, thanks for not taking offense to my controversial post on the stream. This is an interesting topic.
I'm not most people. They're just talking about John. Yeah.
Jollibee owns Mung and Asao, Chow King, and no, it's a giant company, right?
Yeah.
The list, it's a long list. It's a long list. James Smith says it's not a democracy anyway, it's a corporate oligarchy. Well, it kind of always been, except now it's kind of obvious, if that makes any sense. I mean, back then it was kind of on a down low, it's low key, now it's too obvious.
Oh, that makes sense. Philippine Prepping says, I'm able to live anywhere and not feel homesick, which is the base word I've been trying to find. I was born into a military family. We moved every 3 years. Joined the military myself and moved every year or 3. Retired and wife joined the Air Force. Yeah, it's yeah. Some can and others. I get it too. I mean, it's not all the time. I mean, I'm like a loner most of the time, and I can usually I almost said self-satisfied, but I can usually keep myself entertained. But it's, it's still every now and then. So, and in retirement, we did those phases of retirement in a live stream a couple lives back, and it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Not easy on the marriage, not easy on life itself. And then you add in when you move to a foreign country and you're adjusting to that. It's, it's different.
Yeah, Harry Walsh says George is asking for it. Michael Taylor says, you watch too much media. Most of the country is not involved in all this nonsense. All these protests are very small compared to real population of people not protesting. No,
maybe they're talking about somebody else that said something. Yeah, we didn't say.
Yeah, well, that's what we
nothing.
said, that this is not the entire story.
Yeah.
What we see, social media
No,
just
it's a
makes
small
it worse.
percentage.
Yeah.
But we've also lived there to experience some of that, and our families are still there. Everything is very media hyped. So yes, you got to take all that with a grain of salt. It doesn't mean that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, Ted says Filipinos used to be the most spread out culture in America. Yeah, they still kind of are. Yes. Remember Bruce Lee when he first showed up on TV as Kato? The guy psychic to Green Hornet. The reason why I brought that up is because Kato, okay, not Bruce Lee, obviously Bruce Lee's Chinese, but Kato is Filipino according to the script. So I'm just letting you know, they didn't say that was Green Hornet's Japanese or Chinese bodyguard. No, that was the Green Hornet's Filipino bodyguard. So I think that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
If I'm American and I marry a Filipino,
I'm confused. Did I just get confused, or is that just my brain flipping upside down?
and I become Filipino by blood. I'm proud of it. Yeah, I know. I don't understand it.
I mean, unless you guys swap blood like blood brothers or something, or she was on her period or something, I ain't even gonna go there. So I don't know But I get it. Maybe you're just referring to as an American and living here and it getting into your DNA, or I think I understand. Ice, ice, baby, get ready. Get ready, Philippine Electric. Are you talking about that June 30th stuff where other countries supposedly electricity is dropping out and some other stuff and something about planet colliding with the sun? There's some stuff they're saying there's another prediction of the 30th. There's some couple things. I don't know if you've heard about that. They're saying there's something going on with an electric grid situation. I don't have all the facts. All I know is they're saying the 30th means something for electricity. I'm confused because there are so many freaking people putting out different things on the same topic. And then you got people that'll just gaslight you for views that'll just make something else. Hey, by the way, the turtles that are flapping around in the Filipino Sea is going to cause a surge of water to overtake the grids in the Philippines, and the power is going out on the 30th. I mean, that's the stuff that's going on in social media. One thing just turns into something, but supposedly there's something about contracts, old equipment. Then Good Morning America started to tell a story about the 30th, but then next thing you know, they said, you better get all your work done because this is happening in 2032. And I said, these people lost their mind. What do you mean get ready, do your work now on your computer because it's coming in 2032? And I'm like, that's where I'm confused. So there is something going on the 30th, which we'll see. They said there was something going on the 22nd. And yeah, like George said, it happened when it happens.
You wonder how Filipino families have money and live well. OFWs are the biggest export money breadwinners for the rest of the family. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is true. In fact, there's a movie that Heidi
Called
was
The
talking about.
Breadwinner. It's
Yeah,
a great
it's called
movie.
The Breadwinner. Yeah.
Yeah, with Vice Ganda. It was one of the better movies I've seen. I think it's up for an award or something, but it's on Netflix and it's really a good movie. But yeah, they do.
Marion says, "Oh, Mary's German? I'm German. Been in the USA for 40 years. I go back a lot. I still miss it." Oh, aw.
Yeah, makes sense. Plus, they were all Masons. There you go, King.
Oh, well.
So many deep conspiracies
Yeah,
about
the Masons.
it
Yeah.
goes
The
deeper and
Freemasons,
deeper.
Yeah. Freemasons, the Illuminati, as it were.
It's better just to believe in what's on the surface, and that this moon landing, basically people just want to believe the basic, but really it all goes way deeper, somewhere between religion, the Masons, underground. What was the one I sent you the video? There's all kinds of things that they're saying that's going on, is why the things are happening right now, and basically the government isn't being run by. So you know what, it's better to just believe whether it did or didn't happen, basically what they're feeding us, because I don't think people can handle what's extra out there. And like you said, if you start talking about it, then it just puts you in a crazy category where they got people that where you're talking about sounds crazy, then they say that you are, or that it's not true, and it just gets, so maybe that's why people are just going with what's going on. It's easier for them to go on with their life as it is and not get into the heavy traffic. Let me stay on that side road instead of getting on the interstate. Something like that. See what I mean? Better to just mind your business and just do it is true.
K-Dot says Trump just said the stuff to make itself look good.
How deep is the deep state?
Right. Luck says she's choosing to be homeless as a style.
Yes.
Hector Gubat says, is it true that remittances will be taxed under the big beautiful bill?
I'm not sure. That's a 1,000-page situation. I mean, it's possible. I don't know if they take, I know they take fees out. And if you look at the fees and remittances, I believe they already are. And something just happened recently with them going on here, but I don't know exactly what it was. So
Paycheck
It's
for
a-
Life says, yeah, they want to go after long-term visa holders that don't seek U.S. citizenship.
it makes sense for those that have been there forever and just keep renewing, and not trying to, but anything's possible now in America. Anything's possible.
That doesn't make sense either, though. Because it's more beneficial for the country that the aliens stay as aliens rather than citizens.
Hmm.
Anyway, financially wise, you get
Why?
more.
Because they're paying all the time?
Yes.
I don't think they should be charging those fees to begin with. People should not have to pay the exuberant amount of fees to enter any country. As I said,
No,
we're
no,
all
no, no,
human
no, no,
beings.
no, no.
When you got off the Mayflower, you
Aliens.
didn't pay all that money way back in the day. So I'm going to go way, way back. And now all of a sudden they're charging a couple $1,000s just for these poor immigrants to come here or ever. And I just
No,
think
no,
the
no,
fees
no,
are
no,
out
no.
of control. I get it's a business.
Illegal aliens get more benefits than legal aliens because legal aliens don't get benefits. It's weird.
Okay, right. So even if you put
So
it that
if
way,
if an alien resident becomes a citizen, then they can avail of benefits, which means it's a drain financially to the country.
I'm sure there's something on the flip side for the government to make money based on taxes or something else that
They're already
happens.
paying taxes. They have to,
I
or else
okay,
they won't get approved.
something. I'm not listing something. There's always a backside to them doing what they're doing. So, yeah. So,
CBG says I bought the Mark Thornton mud collection from Jen last week.
you simp. I guess I get it. I really do. It supports her and the baby.
Expat possesses every man has a mug, right?
John further up seems to be in there. I'm pretty sure we know who that is who he's been going back and forth. It says that I just retired business consultant for a large convenience store chain. Here he is in our live stream. I know for the fact that gas prices are lower where I am because the president just announced that, or what's her face just announced that prices are down and this, and that. That's not what my side of the family's reporting, but I guess it depends on where you live. But I'm glad that you had the time, take the time out, and that you delegated all the work of your convenience stores to join our live stream. And I mean that.
Dr. Gubat says Tesla has been overtaken by BYD in terms of global market share, but obviously not in the US. Yeah.
Oh yeah, BYD is the place here. Yeah, the
Well,
electrical cars.
I don't know how big of a footprint like BYD has in the US.
I'm just surprised with the way the electricity is always going out and this, and that. They just announced they have a whole fleet of electric cars in one area of the Philippines. It's how they're doing some of the cabs or something. And all these electric cars being sold when I haven't seen one station in this area. I must be missing. Maybe they're installed at the bottom of some of these hotels or something.
They don't have them here.
So then you have to,
You
like
have to
our
be in
E-Trike.
BGC. You have to be in BGC to have them. But no,
Well, they're selling them here in Angel City.
No, I'm talking about the stations.
Right. So basically, yes, you really would need
No,
to have
Tesla trucks are here.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's just
Well, like I said, but BYD is really nice.
No, I know that. But where are they going to charge these?
Home.
And what happens if you go somewhere else, like in the U.S. or other foreign countries where they have charging
in the
stations?
US,
There's a lot more in other foreign countries.
Yeah, more, but not enough.
Not enough.
It's really, anyway.
Anyways.
King B says gas prices have fallen in the U.S. at least when I was there 8 months ago. Patriot for Life says Native American reservation gas is $2.73.
Way to go, Trump. Hey, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Oh well, that's no tax on I guess there's no tax on the gas on the reservation. That's what he's saying. That's why it's cheap.
I was about to say something, but I'm going to hold it to myself because it's not good and it's probably racist. So I'm going to hold it. I was about ready to say where they can go spend the money.
Okay, our Philippine journey. At Philippine Antics, the guy that says Bud Aldrin said that is full of crap, that the internet is lie. He has refuted that repeatedly over the years. Yes, I'm aware that he distinctly didn't say, he actually said that he never said that or will ever admit to that. Correct?
Okay, so
Yeah, no, that I'm
the
aware.
story's on the internet,
Yeah,
so he never said it.
that's new to me. Yes, that's new to me.
Well, that's all you had to say a few minutes ago was that I know that this was put out there. I mean, you could have said that back then.
What do you mean?
Either way. So, okay, that's okay. So what he's saying, you knew, and when the other person said that he said it, and then I said it, you knew that he made a statement that it's not true.
I
what
wasn't
was out
sure
there.
what you're talking about.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
wasn't sure it was him because you didn't say it in the same sentence.
We said Buzz Aldrin said that the space landing, somebody put that in there. I read it and I said, well, there you
Yeah,
are.
that's what he said, not what you said.
Okay, I read it out loud.
Right, that's what the other guy said. But anyway. CBGB says, every man is gone but never forgotten. Victoria says gas and petrol prices have gone up in Australia by $2. Well, they're gonna go up because of what's going on. That includes the U.S. It'll go back up in the U.S. because of what's going on.
Yeah.
Luca says there's just too many conspiracy theories going on, and now AI. Well, AI is not helping.
No, it's not.
AI is into everything. I just don't know. I just don't want to know anymore. I want to go back into baking banana breads and forget these. Right?
Yeah. Forget
True
this
story.
shit. Yeah, I hear you, Luca. I wish we can go back to the 80s and just pre-internet. I really do.
Oh well, yeah. If gas goes up, that includes LPG, yes, or propane. Propane, yeah. Propane will go up too, yes. Segment says, George, welcome to our world. Us nuts are all around.
And yeah, you can put that up, George. Welcome to our world. Or George is so henpecked. So maybe he is. So that's always the way it goes. Is the woman is always the problem.
Remember,
always the answer. This is why I'm broke. This is why I'm drinking. This is why I have a problem. You guys never are the problem, are you?
remember
Never
the
the
Soviet
problem.
Union and the U.S. were in the space race, among other races, cultural and economic. We have to be careful what we read on the internet. Every line of technical, physical, and independent evidence overwhelmingly confirms the Apollo moon landings were real. Moon landing denial is a conspiracy theory unsupported by science and physics.
Independent evidence. Huh?
Yeah, electricity will go up too. Yes, of course, because everything is petroleum based, so therefore it doesn't matter. Actually, it's not just gas. Everything will go up. Not just gas. Everything. Even technically, even food too, because You know, what ferries food is gas, yada, yada, yada. It's a chain reaction, yes. Um, Expat says nut bags can be a lot of fun.
Right.
Nut bags can be a lot of fun. Kita, thumbs up. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hector Gubet says, but Moses parted the sea. That's undeniable. There you go.
Right. That's what I mean. It's
It's in the Bible. It must be true. Sperlin Everett says, my ex was
yeah, that's
a nut bag, and I had a lot of fun at times.
I hear you. Same here.
Oh, and for those of you who got offended from what I said, be aware I'm actually a Catholic. I actually have a scapular, and the Bible is one of my favorite books. I've read that book so many times. But anyway,
A man without a country, if no citizenship. Right. Rest in peace, Mr. Carlin.
you can't say the truth without someone saying you're a racist. Grow a set, people.
I agree. Carnivore Traveler said, I seen her in Malay across Robinson's in Manila. Yeah, she's been out there for a while, and she's been in that area for 10 years. So I don't know exactly how long she's been homeless, but I put a link to Carrie's travel, the one that helps these expats and Filipinos that are homeless. She'll be putting a video out shortly. Maybe she has some additional information. She usually, like the veteran guy that was up in the condo, there is more to the story, I'm sure. So in the meanwhile, she's helping her and stuff. But there's definitely got to be more to it.
Patriot for Life says, fact that sun had a volcanic solar explosion last week. Get ready for the heat to be turned up to the extreme. So I was kind of suspecting that's what Heidi was talking about. Or is she talking about the super solar flare?
There were 4 or 5 that went across the U.S. yesterday. They tried to say it was space junk coming back through, but there were oversized bolts of fire that fell through the sky.
Oh, okay, so
yesterday,
no,
day
it's
before.
not a super solar flare.
But they said that might have been just space junk, but it's been unconfirmed what it is. But they said something.
It doesn't make sense though.
There's something coming about the moon coming close to something else. It could clip something, and then it's going to cause the internet to go out or something.
Oh no, that's
the
garbage.
fallout from something
That's
is going to
garbage.
land and hit the satellites.
That's garbage.
They're saying the satellites are going to get hit, but there's also something about expired stuff and equipment and taxing and something in other countries where the power is going to go out or something. So there's like 2 or 3 different things. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a conversation. Who knows? But I know I know that Good Morning America, like a day or 2 ago, just mentioned all of the satellite and fallout of something clipping and falling.
That
And
happens on a regular basis.
yeah. And they said the chances are not. They're out there. There's not. It's a small chance it will, but if it does,
satellites, fall on a regular basis. They're on the orbit decays. But anyway, yeah.
yeah.
I was in Robinson supermarket that day, and I was around 4 or 5 other white guys, and never said hi to each. Well, here's the problem. I would say most of the time, I would say about there's a 40% chance they won't say anything back. So 60% chance they will, but it's just some people just don't talk. Even in the U.S., the same thing. Focus on Asia says, I just turned in to see if George was alone and homeless.
Right. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, JR?
Yeah, I try to say hey to a lot of people, a lot of white folks, and hardly anyone says stay back.
Now that is true. We said
like
that
I said,
too.
Even in the U.S., that's
A couple years ago during the pandemic, and when we were allowed to go out and do things, every time I said hello, that's like immediately when I was able to get out and about, I was like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, is it because I'm a white woman? Is it because they got scorned? Is it what's their problem? But I notice we get more that are talking now, but for the most part, they don't talk to nobody. So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
You have to remember too, even Filipinos are the same way abroad. Most of the time when I see a Filipino, I always say hi, and most of the time, to be honest with you, they just ignore me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, nothing came up.
Philippine Province says I'm able to. Yeah. I miss chatting with friends about ancient history and the Anunnaki, chess and more. There you go. Let's talk about the Anunnaki. Talk about Moses. And now the story with Anunnaki and Moses is actually a good one. Anyway, Philippine Prepping says, me too, moved all the time, can't seem to want to stay in one place. Oh, that movie, what's that called? There's that movie. It's like it's Moses. Noah. That's what I meant. Not Moses.
You know the one from like
The
2018
movie, right?
with what's his name?
That's what it's.
Them rock men and everything.
Yeah, it's based on the Anunnaki, and that's not the.
With the gladiator guy in it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like that one. I've
It's
seen that several
loosely
times.
based on that, but anyway.
Gotcha.
Yeah. According to conspiracy theories that Noah is. But anyway, no. Welcome back, internet. Al Sperm Edward says my father was in the military and we traveled around the world. With him, when I joined, I traveled and I'm retired and traveled. Loved it. Huh?
Oh, interesting. Go ahead and put it up. We can check. There's a few things going on. Any updates of what happened to Drake Hotels and Poppies? Heard they fled without even paying their staff. Interesting. I was wondering when the money was going to run out. It seems to be they invested a lot of money in the signs and everything else. We said usually these businesses last 2 to 3 years, and they opened one up on Walking Street too. So they opened up a second location. So hard saying. I mean, I'm wondering where maybe they had a ton of money. If you don't have a couple $100,000 in a bank to invest in anything, then I wouldn't have started a business to begin with. And I don't think it's worth it unless you get into a deeper business like with real estate or Airbnbs and have several investors. These little ones tend to burn out. These bars, all these bars just turn into other bars, and I don't know.
Well, the problem is, and again, I'm not saying that it is. I'm not talking about Drake Hotel in particular. The problem is of course nobody has that much cash. I'm saying,
and our Philippine Journey probably have a better idea on that one.
Nobody has that much cash to buy a hotel outright and stuff like that. So what I'm saying is the real problem with these types of businesses is you're not even making money yet. You're already in debt because you're actually just borrowing money to start the business, and then of course it's basically pretty much compound interest. You're going to pay interest on that thing like crazy. So again, I'm not talking about them in particular because I don't know the facts. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't know if they're okay. I don't know any of that. But all I'm saying is the problem when you start up a business and you don't have the cash on hand, which I get it, it's kind of unrealistic to start a business that big and you have that much cash on hand. But remember, that makes it worse because that means the interest is astronomical. Just saying.
Could just be another rumor too.
Yeah, that's why I said
nothing
we don't know. I don't know. And but like I said, in any business. Does Clark Airport have decent lounges with amenities while waiting for flight?
Yes.
They're decent. Yes. I mean, you're not gonna get like a full body massage or anything like that.
It's really nice. They might have added that since then.
It's possible.
They're always adding
it's possible.
Stuff. It is really nice in my opinion.
No,
very personable.
It's nice, yeah.
Not compared to where it was in 2020 and 2021. That's for sure. It's really changed. It's fully upgraded. Yeah, June 30th, George is going to fall down the stairs. I noticed you didn't put that one up.
Where is
it? It was further up. You missed it right there on George. Don't fall down those
Instead of George
stairs.
will fall down the steps, right?
Second win, you've been banned.
Right, just like that.
And just like that, you got henpecked and didn't even know it. Let me tell you what else this pecker can do. I mean, mouth. I mean,
Huh?
What?
Can you tell your audience what days and times, George, and you do your live shows? I don't always catch them. Thank you.
yeah, we list them in there. They're pretty consistent. We had slowed down, but they're Thursdays. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And then it's the day behind if that's Philippine time. So, and they're at 9 a.m. So they're pretty consistent. Just sometimes we don't always do a Saturday, and sometimes George isn't joining because of his schedule. We've taken our feet out of the water. We don't do a lot of recording anymore. We do the lives, and George doesn't always join them. We said like last year that we were slowing down, and so you'll probably see me at least on Saturdays. But yeah, if he's rested and not scheduled to do something or out and about, so then if not, then it's me that does them. So 3 days a week.
Yeah. Like a spot says, we need to do is conspiracy theory light corner live, and we're tinfoil hats. Oh, that'd be awesome. Probably on the 4th of July. Actually, little fun fact. Remember Y2K? That's not a conspiracy theory. That actually did happen. What it was is, what was that?
Go ahead, explain how that happened.
Okay. Back then, computers could only go from 999 to 0, but it recognized 0 as in 2000, as in 0 as in the year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right. And the problem is it was a real issue. Everybody had to update their computers and their computing system, and if they didn't, they felt they had problems. Banking, there's a lot of bank problems.
Right, but remember, they turned that molehill into an oversized mountain and said all kinds of additional stuff.
Oh yeah, no.
Power was going to go out.
That was gonna happen if they didn't fix. They did fix them before it happened. A lot of people aren't aware. They did fix most of the problems before the year 2000 happened.
Yeah.
No, they did fix them. Yeah. And then there are ones that didn't, had problems literally once hit 2000. Yes. So it wasn't a conspiracy. Big Beautiful Bill does have 3.5% tax on every single money transfer from the USA above. Yeah, Philippine President says don't do transfers. Then I will do IT work for Walmart and travel all over the country, and gas is high everywhere. Oh.
And that's coming from Kay Dallas.
Oh, Kay Dallas. I didn't know that's what you did that. Oh, wow.
What's for lunch? Probably a super powerhouse salad. So we have romaine lettuce and raisins will go on it, and pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, a lemon vinaigrette dressing, and a little bit of mozzarella cheese and some boiled egg cut up on it. So, or George will be eating a piece of chicken that he got this morning. So did you eat the second piece?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Focus on Asia says Smokey's Bar and Chill. Yes, sir. Seen it yesterday. One near the parade ground, maybe more elsewhere.
Interesting. Okay, so he said Smokey's Bar and Chill. Are you talking about a new one, or yes, it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what it meant. Yes.
One near parade ground, maybe more. Well, I know there's a second one, but trying to confirm, is he actually? Are they around?
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me. I just don't know how financially, because when we've been there a few times, it was half empty. It was like really empty. We were there early, and it just didn't seem like there was a big crowd.
I mean,
I just can't see how they financially hung on. I just can't see it. The amount of money that had to be lost, the amount of staff they had around just didn't seem doable. So, but it's hard to man.
KDOS says, okay, when I was in Atlanta, gas is $2.80. Then I went to Charlotte, gas is $2.90. Now I'm in Orlando, gas is $2.95. Okay. That
Yeah.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Gas was $5 a gallon under Obama. Hey, I believe that. Don't remember it.
No, it did. I
Ah.
remember. Well,
Well, when was that?
I didn't see the $5 mark. I saw the
Well, yeah, there was $5,
something,
right?
yeah.
So I remember somewhere,
Yeah.
was that in 04, 03, 05, those years? I don't remember when he was president. I know I was paying $5 almost in Florida
Yeah,
when I had my
It
jeepney.
almost hit 5. Yeah.
Okay, so
I
yeah, I
don't-
used to freak out. So no, I
Yeah.
get it, but I think all of these topics that are being covered by the White House right now just keep moving around so much when there's something else coming. But that could just be me, all pessimistic and just bitchy. But I still think they're hiding stuff, and when things get serious, they move. Something else happens.
Yeah. Dallas Bound says, does anyone know for sure the visa of the Finnish woman that allows her to be here, or is she here? I think she was here legally. I'm not sure if she's
She
keeping up with
was,
her.
yeah.
Probably not. I mean, you can't afford to live. You probably can't afford your visa, right?
And it would be breaking. I mean, I hate to say it, if you're homeless on the street, you're not supposed to be homeless as any visa holder here. You really are
Oh
supposed
yeah, that's
to
right.
have
That
a,
kind of kills your visa, doesn't it?
correct. There are a lot of people, oh no, you can be homeless and have a visa. No, you
No,
can't.
you're right. That disqualifies
It
you.
disqualifies
You're
no
right.
matter what visa they have. There are still rules of, having some sort of something going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah.
Philippine prepping says I will never own an electric vehicle. Well, that goes against prepping. But it's kind of, well, I'm not saying, I mean, it's kind of hard to keep a carburetor vehicle nowadays. Patriot for Life says the property would be in Drake's wife's name.
Yeah, it probably would be, but they're business holders. So, but I mean, are you telling me that them two American expats officially put it in his wife's name? It's possible, but
Yeah.
there are multiple business partners for that.
Yeah, but Mercy isn't Filipino.
That's right.
Mercy's
Bingo.
Mexican.
Mercy's Mexican. She's also a foreigner.
Mercy's not Filipino.
Yeah, you just reminded me. You're right. They lived in Mexico.
I mean, I know she kind of looks Filipino.
That's right. I forgot she's not. I was
Mexican.
like, yeah, they did. No, that's right. You're right, George. Thanks for reminding me. Yes. Mercy and Eric are good. Hope they are okay. Yeah, they're nice people.
We hope they're okay. Yes. Yeah. Like I said, we're not sure if that's true or not. Honestly, I'm not sure if you understand. It's a joke, buddy.
He's addressing. I'm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're on the bottom. Peter for Life says we need donuts. Robert says for visa holders, you're supposed to have proof your income is no less than. Well,
during me processing my full 13A, they didn't ask me my income. I don't think that was even a question during that. Did she ask me about my income? I don't think she did. She didn't ask for bank statements, nothing. But I've been in the country for almost 5 years. So, but I know that there is an income requirement when you get an SRRB.
Yeah,
and I know, but the whole point is I know you can't just sit here broke and come in. If you're a tourist and you're coming in for 2 weeks, then that might be something different. But if you tell them when you enter the country you've only got $100 in your pocket, they have every right to turn you back out.
But then again, what else would it be? It's either SRV or K1 visa.
She said she had a Filipino partner. That was stated.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm wondering maybe she was married. Right, so she might have. Right. So I don't know. I can't answer that. I tried to ask.
Because tourist visa, they're not going to ask you for that. That's what I'm saying. So
there's heard she worked at a call center at one point, but she's been here for 10 years. So there's something.
Yeah, say your goodbyes, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Let me get I got a video. I don't know how well. Now the screen's gonna go blank while I go get it.
Well, it won't go blank. We'll just be in the corner.
Oh, okay. Well, let me go get that. Yeah, George has. Corner, oh yeah, so yeah. George hasn't seen this, so this will be interesting.
Yeah.
He's gonna see himself AI'd, and this is a shout out for our supporters and people, and we do appreciate everybody supporting the channel, and consider being a member. And we got our birthday month coming up. Only a couple more days, and you get some extra licks.
Over the hill.
Hey, how many licks does it take to get to your Tootsie Roll?
Right.
No. So enjoy this one. AI does. Oh, hold on.
George and Heidi, living in the Philippines. Philippine Antics on my screen. Laughs and moments, fun and bright. Stream and joy every week.
Look how they turned George
This
into.
is what they're hearing.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really short. Yeah.
Oh, that was it?
Oh, it's listing our recent support. Remember, we said we were going to put up the people that's been giving stickers in the previous
George and Heidi,
for some of our
living in the
main
Philippines.
supporters.
Philippine Antics on my
This was from the
screen.
people from the
Laughs
last
and
live
moments,
stream
fun
or
and bright.
before.
Stream and joy every week. Life
Look at
can
George.
be tough, so you've
There you
got to
are, all AI'd. Yeah, it was very short. It was from the previous live streamer too. It wasn't all the members and everything. I know, go figure. They took a photo and AI'd us, and it put cans in our hands. It did our rings different and everything else.
Okay, no, I was wondering. I don't remember that happening. That's why I was like.
No, I told you it was AI. So anyways, guys, thank you for joining us. You have to remove it from, or do that. I think that, go ahead.
Well, I click on. Oh, it has to turn into a hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you so much.
The digital, real quick on the digital nomad visa, I don't even know if it's officially come out, but they announced some of the requirements. But I believe the income is $2,000 a month. You have to have insurance if you're going to work in this country, if you're working on a laptop, if you're a school teacher online. All of these require a visa, and there's a lot of people not adhering to any of this. Okay, again, and the whole situation is for those that can enter the country and be digital nomads and work online and be able to stay here. I believe they said it was going to be up to 2 years for the few $100s that they're going to charge. I think you have to have a medical background, everything. So digital nomad, it means if you're working online, school teacher, book writer, making money, any of these things, you're making money online. Once you enter the Philippines and you're living here, they still consider that working. And so this would allow you to pay taxes back in your country. So that's what that digital nomad visa would allow.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bobby G. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much, Marian Habera.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for support. Thank you, Ted,
Thank
for being
you,
here
Victoria,
with us.
Sarah, and Ted for those that have been supporting
Sarah,
the channel.
fan.
Thank you, Victoria. God bless you guys, and we appreciate you. And we will see you guys. Should be Tuesday. See if we can keep George in the house. Say goodbye, George.
Right. I won't be here.
Tuesday?
Yeah, because Monday's the 30th.
Oh, that's when the payment runs out?
No, that's when I fall down the stairs.
Oh, okay. Maybe the power will go out.
Bye, guys.